Cortez. We have studio elementary school principal Jennifer Barentine. We have Etheridge Elementary School principal Sasha Thompson. Elementary School principal Stephanie Watson. We have Morningside Elementary School principal Jessica Richardson. And we have Peter Colony Elementary School principal Rebecca.
It's the first district game of the season here on Panther Friday night. The Colleyville Heritage Panthers pay a visit to the Colony to take on the 2-0 Cougars here at Tommy Briggs Stadium. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio, and shortly after this, we'll have a visit with head coach Jerry Edwards. Alongside Shannon Brazil, the TCU Hall of Fame linebacker, I'm Will Connerly, and we will be right back on Tradio.
He's into the end zone for the touchdown. That's 6.
It's the pregame show here on Panther Friday night, brought to you by Corey Kessler Home Loans. I'm Will Connerly alongside Shannon Brazil, and welcome into the pregame show where we set the table for the district opener here this evening, the Colony and Colleyville Heritage. And let's talk about the Panthers. Let's tie a bow on what was week 2 against Richland, where a big deficit for the Panthers. They put 23 points up in the fourth quarter, but a game that when you look at the score, it really wasn't as close as the scoreboard indicated, but they did show that fight, putting up 23 in that fourth quarter. Your impressions after that game heading into tonight, Shannon?
Well, at halftime I mentioned we need to see what kind of fight these guys have. I mean, the score got out of control pretty early in the game, and my thoughts were, it's a long season. They'll probably be 1-1 at the end of this game, but to have them fight back and score the amount of points they scored showed me they still have it in them. It was just a little bit too late to pull off the game, but I'm super excited to see how much they practice this week on penalties and keeping the main thing, which is football, straight up football with no penalties. That's what's killing them. The interceptions, the flags. If these guys can play better football and really hone in to the assignment, they'll be victorious.
And one thing you mentioned about the interceptions, 3 of them have been thrown through 2 weeks. And last week, 2 pick sixes, really hard to overcome. They did it in week 1 against Red Oak, a pick 6. They go down by double digits. They fight back in the second half, but the second pick 6 last week really was the nail in the coffin. And to have 3, that's 21 points that have been put on the scoreboard on the field. So for Bodie Weaver now going into his 3rd start, and more importantly, first as a district game, it's important for this whole Panthers group to get a new level of focus. And that's what head football coach Jerry Edwards talked about. Hey, the focus is much different now because it is district time. It is a different level of intensity.
Listen, I believe Mr. Weaver will bounce back. And this week I believe he's got to get the ball, find a way, however, to Mr. Blewett, because he's shown us, even in double coverage, if you just give me an opportunity, I can take it to the house or pick up a big first down for him. But he also has to use his other weapons. And so he's got to open this thing up because we can't be one-dimensional. And right now, when it's just him and Blewett's double team, it makes their offense very stale. So, and then the interceptions, I'm telling you, they will flatten the defense faster than anything. Because when you're trying to come back and then you're throwing picks and pick sixes at that, it just dehydrates a defense, and it takes a lot of them. So if they can correct those mistakes, we're going to see one hell of a ball game tonight.
We'll hear from head coach Jerry Edwards coming up after this on the pregame show, brought to you by Corey Kessler Home Loans. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
Number one Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet, last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados, 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s, 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Back with you on Panther Friday night here on Tradio. It's the pregame show and our weekly visit with head football coach Jerry Edwards. Coach, after a tough loss last week against Richland, what are some key things you take from that game and you bring into tonight?
Well, we just got to execute a little bit better. We didn't do a really good job early in the game against a really, really quality football team. And when you play that way against quality football teams, sometimes you come out on the losing end of it. We bust off an 80-yard touchdown to start the game, gets brought back for a holding. On defense, we hold them third down, and we jump off sides, give them new life. Got tricked on a fake punt. And so, there was just a couple things. We didn't do a very good job tackling last week. And so, you go back to basics. Sometimes you can learn a lot from a loss. We put on the tape. We talked about, executing on offense to a higher level, getting the early shots early and protecting the football. And then on defense, running through the ball, tackling, and being good tacklers and getting everybody there. And I think some of those things just kind of go back to football 101. It all comes down to blocking and tackling and take care of the football. And so we spent a lot of time on that this week, just getting back to basics so we can play good football.
And I know we talk about football tonight, big things happening with district play getting underway. And for your team, one last thought on last week before we really get into tonight's matchup is the way that your offense was able to put points on the board in the fourth quarter. Was that something that was encouraging to see from your group heading into district play, knowing that, hey, you did get down, but you fought a little bit back in the ball game?
Yeah, we challenged them at halftime, and I told them, I said, the non-district games are about finding out who you are as a team and learning how to execute and play together. And so I told them, I said, I could care less what the score says at the end of the night, but I want to make sure that we're executing and then we're doing everything we can to prepare for the district games, which count. You got to win those to get bonus games. And so fourth quarter, we looked good. We started playing a little bit looser. We started playing with some energy. Defensively, we got some stops. Offensively, we were able to spread the ball around and move it down. And really and truly, we battled our way back in the game. We had an opportunity with about 7 minutes to go in the game. And if we, in the red zone, we score there, it's a 13-point game. And so with 7 minutes and 13 points, you got a chance. And so, that was encouraging to see. Our kids didn't give up, and they fought to the end. which will be beneficial down the road.
When we look moving forward for your offense and how you want to get the ball into the hands of some of your wide receivers, particularly Braden Blewett, he saw a lot of the coverage, multiple guys coming his way. He was getting doubled quite a bit. Is that something that your offense looks for other guys to step up when the coverage is rotating his way quite a bit?
Yeah, you got to. I mean, obviously everybody's going to, double cover Braden. I mean, any smart defensive coordinator would. And so that means our other guys got to step up. Now, going into last week's game, we had a couple guys out but not an excuse. Next man up mentality. We had some guys. Samir Johnson stood out. Made some big plays there at the end of the game. But when people are double covering Braden, we got to run the football and we got to throw the ball to other guys, and they got to execute to loosen up that coverage to get him free. And so it's a great opportunity for our quarterback, our running backs, and our other receivers to fill those voids and to step up and make plays when teams are trying to take Braden away.
Yeah, great point about Samir Johnson. Had some standout moments for sure, and looking forward to seeing more of that tonight. Let's now look at your opponent, the Colony. They're a football team that looks like they can run the ball pretty well. What do you know about them?
Yeah, they do. They have ran the ball. Their quarterback is it's a lot of quarterback run game. They have a big quarterback, Carson Cox, who's, I think been a 3-year signal caller for them. He's a big kid like last week's quarterback. They can run a little bit, and they have a lot of design runs for him to run, for him to pick up yards with his feet. And then they got a good tailback that runs extremely hard as well. And so we got to do a really good job. I feel like defensively, the first 2 weeks we did a good job of stopping the run game. Last week we held Richland's, Baylor commit to 60 yards on the ground. And so we're going to have our hands full this week with 2 guys that are potential run threat, making sure that we keep them contained and they don't beat us with their feet.
Absolutely. Going up against another dual-threat quarterback here in this district opener. When we talk about just that, the district opener, is that something that you bring up to the team that, hey, this is kind of the start of what actually will determine our postseason fate? Is there a different level of messaging or focus that you want your team to have now that it is district play, or is it just, again, you're preparing the same way?
No, I mean 100%. It's different. I told them, we could have went 0-2, 2-0, or 1-1 like we did in non-district, and nobody at the end of the year is going to care about that record. They're going to care about the 8 games that we're about to play, because those next 8 games determine if you get bonus games. If you can't get a chance to win the region or beyond, if you don't get in the playoffs. And with our district, every game's going to count. Every game's going to matter. The Colony's 2-0, and they're teaching the same message over there. To start district 1-0 is a big step forward for every team in this district. You want to get off on a good start, especially with Timberview and Argyle on the horizon. We want to make sure that we start off district 1-0.
You mentioned it earlier about how there were some guys out last week, and I just want to ask generally about the health of your team, because going up against 2 big-time 12-win teams from a season ago before you jump into district play, what's the overall health of the team heading into the opener here tonight?
Well, we're about as going into the district opener, we're as healthy as we've been all year. We did have a couple guys out in non-district, and once again, some of that was preventative to make sure that those guys are ready to go for the district slate. And then some of them were sickness, but this week we've had everybody here. Everybody's on one beat, and so we feel pretty good about our health. Little bumps and bruises, obviously, when you play 2 really good football teams, you're going to get bumped and bruised a little bit. But overall, the health of our team going in this first game is good.
Final question for you, Coach, before we let you go for tonight. I know it was announced a couple weeks ago, but just from your perspective, the evaluation of the leadership of this group. I know that the captains that you have selected for this year's group, a couple seniors, a couple juniors. Could you talk a little bit about that leadership nucleus that you have for the Panthers?
Yeah, we always let the team vote for our captains for each year, and the 5 guys they selected, I think, embody what it means to be a Panther. I think those guys are some of the hardest working guys on our team. Some of those guys are the heartbeat on offense and defense, and they lead it by example. No, I've encouraged those guys to be a little bit more vocal because they're leaders by example, and they need to hold their team accountable. And I think some of those guys are starting to embrace that role because they're all fierce competitors and they all want to win. And sometimes you got to lead by example, but also you got to get on teammates and making sure that they're towing the line and doing everything that you expect them to do because it's their team. I tell them all the time, it's the captains and seniors team because it's their last opportunity. Good Lord willing, I'll get another chance next year to coach a football team. But it's their team this year, and they have to take responsibility for their team.
Coach, well said. Really appreciate your time as always, and best of luck here tonight.
I appreciate it. Go Panthers.
Back with you here on Panther Friday night here on Tradio alongside Shannon Brazil. I'm Will Connerly, and Shannon, looking forward to this matchup. We just heard from head coach Jerry Edwards, and he talked about the fight that his team put on the field in week number 2. They come in with a record of 1-1, but we haven't talked about their opponent yet, the Cougars, the Colony. They're 2-0, and they had just a very impressive and dramatic win last week against Frisco Wakeland. They win by a point, go for 2 in overtime to win it, and their quarterback, Carson Cox, 5 touchdowns. He's got 10 through 2 weeks total coming in, and somebody the Panthers defense will look to stop tonight.
Yes, and Mr. Cox sounds like he's a hoss, man. He can run the ball, he can throw the ball. He's two-dimensional. They're going to have to do a great job containing him and being responsible for him. Sounds like a guy you put a spy on, right? You cannot leave this guy open by any means or he would take advantage of it. And so I look forward to the defense bouncing back for the Panthers. I was listening to the coach there. Sounds like they practice on all the mistakes and practice on playing consistent football for 4 quarters and not trying to fight from behind this time. So it's going to be a great night of football, and can't wait for this thing to kick off.
Absolutely. We will take a timeout. Keys to the game coming up on the other side. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. Alongside TCU Football Hall of Famer Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly. We're happy to be with you here at the Colony as Colleyville Heritage opens up district play. Let's get into our keys to the game tonight. Shannon, we came up with 5. First, we talked about it last segment when we introduced you to the Cougars, but let's dive deeper into key number 1, contain Carson Cox, the quarterback. Especially looking back at last week and really the first 2 weeks, you've had to go up against some dual-threat quarterbacks. This one may be the most dynamic in Carson Cox.
Yeah, and based off the Panthers' history for the last 2 weeks, they focused on all the guys they need to shut down, and they forgot about the other superstars on the other team or the guys who are contribute to the team. So I hope that's not the case tonight. I hope because the fact that Mr. Cox had a big game, 5 touchdowns last week, that they don't just try to take him absolutely away with the whole defensive plan and cover everybody. And so that's going to be first and foremost. They have to just keep him in check and make sure everybody else is covered.
There are some other candidates to do some good things for a team that gained 527 yards on offense last week. Kendrick McLoden, obviously, with the running back room, he spearheads that group. He had 159 on the ground, and then their main target is Xavier Green. We'll talk about him for sure quite a bit here tonight, but let's transition to our second key to the game, and that's for Colleyville to capitalize on Braden Blewett, a 3-star wide receiver, a pledge to Northwestern, a massive week 1, and he really outshined everybody on the football field, including the 3 Division I receivers that were on the other side. However, last week he was held to just 33 yards and 4 catches, did have a touchdown, but capitalizing on his talent is a key for Colleyville tonight.
Yes, it is. And this guy's so special, coming into the third game of the year with 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's magical. You have to get him the ball. You have to, if he's double teamed, you have to get him, find a way to get him in the play reverses. Put him in the slot, hit him real quick, something. You cannot, listen, even when they get the ball around this guy, he does 2 things. He either picks up a touchdown or he picks up the first down. You have to get this guy the ball.
So capitalize on Braden Blewett, key number 2. Key number 3, and it shifts back to the Panthers defense and improving the defensive resilience. After allowing 43 points last game to Richland, you know that the Panthers want to focus on improving and minimizing a lot of the plays, particularly last week, that came in the secondary from some explosive plays from Richland.
Yeah, one thing about to see last week in the fourth quarter, they fought back because giving up 43 points in the secondary, breaking down like they did, could cause some mental issues coming into this game. But the fight back showed me that they're going to take that fight into this game. And so I think they'll do a lot better job. I think you'll see these guys flying around and taking more opportunities to try to take the ball away versus giving up the big play.
Key number 4, limit mistakes. And the mistakes in particular were a couple of pick sixes thrown last week, and we mentioned 3 pick sixes through 2 games. That puts your defense in a tough situation, which has tied into a couple of our keys to victory here tonight for the Panthers. But turnovers, you mentioned the penalties, especially because you look at early at the game last week, and Coach Edwards talked about it. You can always reference a flag that coulda, woulda, shoulda, but that big 70-yard run to start the game last week, a flag brought it back, and they end up punting. So limiting those mistakes, the turnovers and penalties, got to play clean on the road in district play, especially in this district.
Yeah, taking points off the board is hard. All right, throwing picks and keeping your defense in bad situation, it's hard, especially when you're trying to come back from behind. So they're going to have to limit the mistakes, limit the penalties, try to play mistake-free football. They're going to get down sometimes, but that's okay. You'll bounce back from those. But if you're doing that consistently, there's an issue there. That's 2 weeks in a row now. We've seen big plays get called back that could have ended up in the end zone. I think one of them was a touchdown called back, and the other one, it was very short of the end zone, which I'm sure they could have punched it in. So if you focus on those kind of things, this Panther team could very easily be 2-0.
Speaking of this Panther team, you see them right there by the edge of the end zone getting ready to run out. We give you our 5th and final key, and that is what they're about to do. Start strong, hopefully, for the Panther Nation and faithful, and control the clock, because in the first 2 weeks, you saw that they played from behind, and being able to fight back is one thing, but we talked about this in the broadcast last week. How do you strike early and control from the jump or from the kick in this regard? And that's a key tonight to start strong and eliminate some of those doubts that may have crept in a week ago when you went down big.
And again, I'll say it again, because they have started fast both weeks, but both big plays cost penalties, bring them back. And so for them to try to bounce back from that, they strike quick both games, and penalties bring them back. So right now what they have to focus on, making the big play like they've done the first 2 weeks, with no mistakes, with no penalties, without calling those plays back, and then keep their foot on the gas, because if they don't, there's a Colony team that's ready to punch them in the mouth and will their force on them as well. So again, I'm excited to see both teams. It's going to be a great night for football.
Absolutely. It's a Friday night in Texas, and it's the beginning of district play Really excited for this one. And when you look across the way, you see that a lot of Panthers have made their way here to enjoy the festivities tonight. The captains starting to make their way toward midfield. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff, and we'll see what they can do here at the Colony. A couple victories for them. Now, they've allowed 57 points through their first 2 games, but they put up 38 in week 1 and then 36 last week in what was a thrilling victory to win in overtime and go for 2 and push the envelope the way that they did. But we'll see as the captains are out there. Bodie Weaver, Luke Graves, Braden Blewett, Dax Hebeson, and Bryson Burgess all across the way right at the 50-yard line as we get ready for the coin toss. And we will take a quick timeout and come back with you in just a moment. It's Panther Friday night here on Tradio.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Get in there on the right. Give me hand. The big kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. Where's your arm line? Big guy. The other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex headshots. Unleash your professional image.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex headshots. Unleash your professional image.
It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. Moments away from kickoff. The coin toss out at midfield about to happen. And we have talked all about this football game. We're glad that you have joined us on the Corey Kessler Home Loans pregame show. But now we're ready to get underway. And for the Colony, they'll start with the football. In this game, they will receive to start this out. Quality crowd that we have on our hands here this evening as both captains were out for the coin toss. And it will be the Cougars who start with the football. So right away, what was a key point after surrendering over 40 points last week, you'll get to see how the Panthers can come out and defend the quarterback of the Cougars in Carson Cox.
It's definitely rebound time. I'm very excited to see how this defense is going to play right now. I'm actually kind of glad they get a chance to play defense first, just so they can set the tone for the offense and set the tone for their team. So it's going to be a good one. I'm really excited about what I'm about to see. Hopefully we have a good game and these guys rebound and make it make it definitely a little bit different than last week.
See the CHHS and the Panthers run out. The band across the way from our vantage point coming out in full force and in support for Panther Nation and those joining us here on Tradio, live on YouTube. We thank you for hanging out with us tonight and watching some Colleyville Heritage football. It's Panther Friday night. Let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments, alongside the TCU Hall of Fame linebacker Shannon Brazil. I'm Will Connerly. Trey Bell with us as well on what is a beautiful evening for football here at the Colony. Not a cloud in the sky as we're just moments away from the opening kick. This first quarter brought to you by IFC Roofing, and got to get settled in underway. And for Colleyville, see, okay, what can they do? How can they come out? And after a strong performance against Red Oak, a last-second field goal to get the job done, last-minute field goal last week, just was a tough one, and that's what you have early on, and it wasn't too different than from what they had a year ago. Had a tough one early on in the season, and then you're able to rattle off a double-digit win streak as we pause for a moment for the national anthem.
On right guard is Cadet Sergeant James Bagg. On the American flag is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Robert Hudson. And on the Texas flag is Cadet Captain Ruby Rodriguez.
The ROTC guys somewhere.
Friday night on Tradio, moments away from kickoff, just a few minutes past 7 o'clock on a beautiful Friday evening here in the Colony. Alongside Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly. We're happy to be with you, and it will be the Panthers who kick off Back to return, Xavier Green, Ryan Zucker to do this kickoff. And kickoffs, they're brought to you by Texas Live. Here this season. Beautiful scene at Tommy Briggs Stadium. And Zucker's kick is off, and it will land through the end zone. So we'll see this Cougars offense set up. This is where a lot of the intrigue coming into this matchup stood out. You want to see how the Panthers come out on offense for sure, but to see how they can deal with another dynamic playmaker in the backfield, this time the quarterback. In that regard, he's been their leading rusher and passer at all the games, the two here this season, where they've picked up a couple victories.
Yeah, they're going to have to start fast on defense, and right now just keep their composure, read their keys. They've studied film all week. They understand what these guys are going to do. Just play ball. Do their 1-11. That's all they have to do.
Cox gets the snap, looks over the field, takes a shot towards his man, and it's picked off on the first play. Colleyville gets the football back. Hayden West with a highlight reel pick right at midfield, and the Panthers get the ball just like that.
That's what I'm talking about. Just do your 1-11. There was a man across the board, and the quarterback, the safety, went with his man. He got the perfect position and able to turn his head and pick that ball off clean. That's what I'm saying. Give your offense the opportunity to come out fast. Great job by the defense.
So the Panthers will start at the 50-yard line after a great interception from Hayden West. They were looking for their main target over the middle in Xavier Green, but instead Hayden West comes in to make the interception. And so Bodie Weaver gets the snap from midfield. And initial look for a 4-yard gain, and they get it to Braden Blewett.
Good job. Great catch. He had his eyes on him the whole time, gave him a good ball.
Early and often getting it to Braden Blewett, who after an explosive week one was limited to 4 catches for 33 yards last week. It was Nick Wankambi and Samir Johnson who led the team. They each had 5 catches last week.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to spread the love this week, but they never can go away from Mr. Blewett.
And a handoff, they get it to the outside to Jared Wiley, and he fights for some more yards after not getting the opportunity to tote the rock a week ago. Jared Wiley picks up a first down gain of 11 yards on that carry.
Wiley runs hard. He's not the biggest man. He's not the tallest thing, but he has some powerful legs. 2 weeks in a row, I've never seen one guy bring him down at first contact. That guy has some strong legs, and he moves the chains with him today.
Scored the first touchdown of the season for the Panthers on a 10-yard touchdown reception in week 1. And then it was a big dose of Bryce Abraham last week as pressure comes. Bodie Weaver had to get rid of it quickly. Trey Simmons came in there on the pressure from the outside, and the 6'3", 205-pound edge rusher met Weaver quickly. He had to get rid of it.
Yeah, he came in like a man right there. They're going to have to focus on him. He's a tall guy. He's quick. And I'm telling you, he came out that edge with a purpose. So they're going to have to focus up there on that offensive line. These guys have some weapons on the other side of the ball as well.
And Simmons already with a couple of tackles for loss this season. And now they give a draw there to Wiley again, and he gets upended around the 27-yard line. It's going to set up a 3rd and short after a pickup of 7. A couple good runs from Jared Wiley again. First week on the ground, he was 10 carries for 24 yards and had the 1 catch for 10 after not playing last week, starting in this first series. And you're seeing a good dose, and now they set up 3rd and short. And Weaver, he was looking for the RPO. Instead, it's going to be penalty marker and a false start.
It's one of those plays where, that's what I'm saying. They can't afford, those penalties this early in the game. 5 yards, they're looking at 3rd and short. Now they take them back 5 yards and it's 3rd down. So those things that can come back and bite you, especially coming off a big pick.
Get a look at the starting offensive line. Parker Leatherwood over at left tackle. Jaden Griffin at left guard. Eli Emerson at center. Tucker Perryman at right guard. And Wes Dalio-Cubic at right tackle. But after that penalty marker, it makes it 3rd and long instead of 3rd and short. We'll get to the rest of the starting lineup in just a moment. Bodie Weaver has time in the pocket, looks down the field, and he was intending that one for Luke Graves, who we've not seen get any action the first couple weeks. A captain on this team and an all-district tight end from a season ago, as you see Nick Wankambi, Luke Graves, and Braden Blewett, 3 of the receivers that are in the mix. That's somebody Coach Edwards was excited to get back. He gets a look there, but it's incomplete now, 4th and 8.
Yep, he was in cover 2. He had 2 safety over the top, 1 underneath, so just much he can do with that. That ball had to be perfect if he was going to catch it.
Home run!
Like now.
It's caught! Touchdown!
Wow.
4th and 8 from 33 yards out, and Colleyville gets on the board. Hayden West with the pick, and Braden Blewett with the 33-yard touchdown reception.
As we said at the beginning of the game, that connection right there, you got to take the chance. You've got to take your chances, even if it's 4th and long. Mr. Blewett blew right past him, and Weaver put it on the money. Great play.
Now Zuckert for the point after he splits the uprights. That extra point is brought to you by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency. 7-0 score. Colleyville with a 33-yard touchdown to Braden Blewett after the Hayden West pick set the Panthers up at midfield. We'll be right back. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
When you're the #1 Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Back with you here, Panther Friday night on Tradio, and that kickoff is brought to you by Texas Live. And so the Panthers, they have a great start after Colleyville opens up their first offensive series from the 50 after a Hayden West interception. Then they get a quick strike, go for it on 4th and 8 from the 33 of the Cougars, and they convert.
Well, that's what happens when your defense gets offense the ball. They make a big play early in the game, and they give your quarterback some confidence and some momentum with a short field, and it worked out for them. That's how they have to play tonight in order to win this game.
Cox, quick release. He gets it to the outside to find Simmons, and he's quickly wrestled down, and it will be a loss of a yard on the quick hitter.
Good pursuit by the defense. I mean, that was a quick ball out from Mr. Cox, and the defense got there so fast they made him lose a yard.
So 2nd and 11. Cox in the gun. He looks over the middle, intercepted again. This time Bryson Burgess. He's trying to take this one back. Burgess keeps on moving inside the 5. Back-to-back drives, back-to-back interceptions, and the Panthers are in business once again, starting in the red zone.
The quarterback sidearmed it. He didn't see a guy underneath. He was double teamed on that play. Look, they were in a deep cover 2. And he tried to arm the ball, being a little pretty, and it cost him for an interception. And the Panthers are looking good going in with a short field.
So after a 33-yard touchdown reception by Braden Blewett, The Panthers you can't get better than this field position from the 4-yard line. It was Hayden West with an interception. Now Bryson Burgess, the captain, comes up. Cox going back to throw over the middle. Both times he's been picked, has gone a couple short ones, but when he's tried to take the shot, they haven't been able to move the chains, and Weaver looks to the outside, gives it off to Wiley. Wiley gets stopped up. Nice tackle made there by Sean Keenan, and the senior makes the stop for a loss of about 5 yards.
A big play by Mr. Keenan. He read it. There was a swing out of the backfield, and he was there to make a big play.
So a loss of just a couple on the play, but Keenan comes in, and Weaver had to get rid of it as the Panthers look to go up by a couple scores after couple interceptions, and Weaver keeping it himself, and he's into the end zone. A 6-yard rushing touchdown for Bodie Weaver, and in the blink of an eye, it's the Panthers up by 2 scores.
Well, look like they're starting fast, just like we said they need to do. And Mr. Weaver and Mr. Blewett, they're hard people to stop. They're great athletes, and when you get them involved early, you get 14-0.
After throwing a couple pick sixes last week, it's the Panthers who, awaiting this extra point, have put 14 points up on the board via interceptions. That extra point brought to you by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency. 14-0 Panther Friday night on Tradio. We'll be right back.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth. Because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
14-0 lead for Colleyville, and Ryan Zucker boots it through the end zone for the touchback. A kickoff brought to you by Texas Live alongside Shannon Brazil. I'm Will Connerly, and a couple interceptions on the first 2 drives for the Colony. It set Colleyville up in great position. Started the 50 on their first drive, started the 4 their second drive. The results, a couple touchdowns, a Bodie Weaver pass to Braden Blewett from 33 yards out, and then he took it in himself from 6 yards out. 14-0, much thanks to the defense granting the offense fantastic field position via a couple interceptions, Shannon.
Yeah, this is what the kind of football I'm accustomed to. Your defense sets a tone and makes your quarterback comes out and plays with no pressure on his back, and he's able to do what he needs to do. He's already thrown for a touchdown, and he's ran for a touchdown. That's how this game's supposed to be played. So look like these guys are feeding off each other, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves right now. Way to start fast.
So a carry on that attempt from Jacob Harrington. Did not really get involved in the action a week ago. He picks up a yard. Evan Nayetta is able to make the stop. Big number 99 in the middle.
That's a big boy in the middle. He's great at a run stop, and he did a great job right there.
Carson Cox coming into this game, he had just thrown 1 interception on the season. He has thrown 2, and Nayetta gets in there again. A big-time loss of about 4 yards. And you said he's a big man. He made a big play right there.
They couldn't even stop him. He had a swing move, got right past him, and hit him in the backfield for a 4-yard loss. Great play by the big man.
So now you've got 3rd and 14. See if the Panthers bring some pressure. Another clear passing down, and was a wide open man. Vincent Canzano easily could have had 6 runs past the defense, but Cox too much on it, and that'll set up a 4th and 14. But wow, he was wide open.
Mr. Cox seems to be off right now. He's already thrown through 2 picks, and he's a little shook up right now. He had a touchdown on that play. If not a touchdown, he had a guy that can run was going to be running for a while. He just overthrew him by 10 yards. He's got to settle down and play better football.
And that's a guy who's come up big, had a touchdown late in week 1 for them, caught the game-winning 2-point conversion last week. And now a punt, and it is off the leg of Patrick Putz. And it's caught at the 39 from Burgess, who had that second interception. But, yes, a wide-open man that you miss on 3rd and long. You bring the pressure. A throw he typically makes, somebody that's completing 59% of his passes. But after throwing a couple picks, that probably works with your confidence. 2 picks through your first 3 passing attempts.
Yeah, because what's on his mind is not throw a third. He's got to play more relaxed and forget about it, have a short memory, and go and continue to do what he did last week, and that's just throw the ball all over the field or use his legs. So he's got to forget about those 2 picks. He's got to play better football for his team. They need him.
Well, Mr. Brazil, we're going to have to revisit our keys to the game at some point, but start fast was one of them, and you could probably put a check mark there as Blewett comes in motion on a 1st and 10 from the 39, and they give it off to Wiley. He looks to go through a hole on the right side, and he's maybe going to get a yard on that gain as Wiley getting a heavy dose of the carries early for the Panthers.
For the Cougars on that side of the ball, they seem to be letting Mr. Blewett open. He right there, nobody went with him. He was in the flat wide open. So if they're going to play that game, they may pay a hefty price for it.
But putting him in motion, that's something that we didn't see a ton last week. Maybe that's another opportunity to get the ball in his hands. He had the big touchdown early, and they get it into the hands of Wiley, who tries to shake a tackle on the outside, but it gets stopped up right there by Sean Keenan, and the senior wraps him up to set up a 3rd and about 8 yards after a pickup of 1 on the play.
Well, that was a big play by the Cougar defense, but here it is 3rd and long, and based off what the Panthers has done by going for it on 4th down and throwing a touchdown, this is a two down series, so this defense have to strengthen up for 2 more plays, because I don't expect for them to be doing any punting.
3rd and 8 from the 41. Weaver drops back 3, has time, looks out to Blewett, and he makes the catch. So you did not expect a punt. You won't see it there. Braden Blewett with a pickup of about 14, and it moves the chains.
What a throw and catch by Mr. Weaver and Blewett. That was just these guys have probably been doing this for a long time. I don't know if they played middle school ball together, but it seems like they've been knowing each other. Their chemistry that's spot on. I mean, those guys have it dialed in.
When you think about Braden Blewett, he's had different quarterbacks really each of his seasons, and you look at Weaver, who steps up in the pocket, and now he has some space to run and slides around the 30-yard line as it was Keenan who was closing in. Good movement of the legs there by Bodie Weaver.
What a great job by the offensive linemen. They just basically shelled those defensive linemen outside and gave Mr. Blewett room to step up in a pocket and go pick up the 1st down. Good job by those guys up front.
So after the pickup of 14, the 7th play of the drive, a gain of about 2 yards on another carry to Wiley. We'll see how Coach Edwards, it was the Panthers who really were insisting on establishing the run last week, didn't ultimately work out. They only got 2.7 yards per carry. This week, though, with Wiley back in the mix, the ground game looks more established as they have some spaces created for him after that pickup of a couple.
Yeah, great. Mr. Wiley's running his heart out, and there you go again. He's running. They can't stop him on the first tackle. This guy's averaging right now probably 3-4 yards a pop. I wouldn't stop running him either.
And there's a pickup of 5. He's been getting it. You know, Abram and Colin Bennett are also in that running back room. And, of course, Bodie Weaver with what he can do with his legs. Weaver last week, he was 17 of 34 for 184 and a pair of scores and a pair of interceptions as well. Looks sharp right now, already with a 33-yard touchdown pass and a rushing score of his own. As Weaver gives it off to Wiley, he slips through 2 defenders and picks up enough for the 1st down. Really athletic run there by the sophomore Jared Wiley.
What a play. Mr. Simmons came out the edge, and Mr. Simmons, a good-looking guy, can play, and Mr. Wiley left him standing in his socks right there, and he goes up and pick up the 1st down. This guy's electric.
If you guys would give me the number as well of the big play on Colleyville side, I got a graphic that I can
So Weaver, the 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line, knocking on the door of the red zone, trying to go up by 3 scores. Weaver with time, looks out to Blewett again, and after the catch, he spins and breaks a tackle. And wow, after the catch, he picks up the first down. Give him a dozen. Another catch for Braden Blewett.
As I stated a while ago, it doesn't seem like these guys are going to double team Blewett, and they're going to say, you know what? He puts his pants on the same way I put my pants on. We're just going to play football. That's going to come back and bite him. This guy, you have to give him some attention. He's that electric.
And does that surprise you as well? After the film was out on last week, he was doubled and limited. Tonight, he's getting that single coverage, and Bodie Weaver hands it right up the middle. There was a flag at the line of scrimmage, so flag down on the play. This one could come back, but it was a handoff there. The first look tonight for Bryce Abram, who almost had 100 on the ground.
I got a picture now. But it's going,
Looks like the flag was against the defense.
Yep.
So that'll set up a 1st and goal to go with good yardage situations right there. But on that note, right, about Blewett, so much focus on him. Jerry Edwards said it. Any smart defensive coordinator is going to double team him, but when you have that opportunity, you ought to take advantage of it, is what you're saying?
Yep. Well, if they're double teaming, they're not doing a really good job of it because this guy's about to get loose, and he seems to be doubled now, but that's too far off of him. You have to get up on this guy and put hands on him. First guy, you put hands on him, and then the second guy, you bracket him. You cannot allow him to run scot-free up the field.
And a good time for the first carry of the season for Dax Hebeson, standout linebacker for Colleyville, but they give him a chance to run it, and he does right there. So Blewett on his own on the outside. As you see, Weaver in the gun, Abram behind him. On the 2nd and goal, and they give it off to Abram,
Touchdown.
and he had plenty of space. A 3-yard rush and a score for Bryce Abram, and it's already a healthy Colleyville Heritage lead in this district opener. They're up by 20 with 2:03 to go in the opening quarter.
Well, we were wondering if they were going to start fast versus slow, and we've got our answer. It's 21-0, and these guys are coming down the field and marching down the field at will, and they've already got 21 points. Now, that's a Panther team that knows how to respond coming off a loss.
And Zucker remains perfect on PATs. That brought to you by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency. 11 plays, 51 yards, and a 3-yard rush to cap it off by Bryce Abram. And Colleyville leads by 21. We'll be back with you in a moment. It's Panther Friday night here on Tradio.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Sit in there on the right. Just give me a hand. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. On the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex Headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex Headshots. Unleash your professional image.
Friday night on Tradio, and a Bryce Abram touchdown from 3 yards out makes it 21-0. So 3 scores for Colleyville on 3 possessions. Great field position thus far for the Panthers.
The Cougars have been punched in the mouth. They've got to respond. I mean, it's 21-0. Plenty of time in this game. They just got to focus on making one big play at a time and get back in this ball game. They can't afford the picks. I'm telling you, the quarterbacks who throws the most picks will probably going to lose this game. We've seen that over the last 2 weeks. Now going into the 3rd week, the picks will always hurt you, and it's cost the Colony tonight.
And really early on, when you look at that, and a timeout was called, interesting time to call that.
after a kickoff, but we proceed here. You look at the huddle for the Panthers, and that has to be a confident bunch right now, leading 21-0 in this opening quarter.
So when you see this huddle right here, like you said with the Colony, there's two different huddles. That's a huddle of not giving up and running the play. This is a huddle where the coach is getting on the whole team saying, hey, guys, we've got to act like we've been here before. We got to get our head out of our butts and play Cougar football. That's what he's telling his whole team right now, I guarantee you. And so these guys are looking to get fired up right now. He's trying to fire them up so they can fight back and get back in this game.
And that's where you see a timeout in a situation like that. And that, when you go up 21-0, this is what you get, the band and everybody fired up for Panther Nation as we're ready to go. And we'll see how Carson Cox can operate. It is just the 7th offensive play for the Colony. They've had a couple drives end via the interception and then had the punt as well as they open a 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line after the timeout. We'll see how this squad can try to turn it around.
Well, this Colony offensive line needs to hold up because they've been allowed pressure on their quarterback all night, and so they have to give him a little bit more time because right now he's out of his confidence and shooken.
And it will be Cox who takes it himself. First rushing attempt he's had tonight, and that is his game. He gained 121 on the ground and ran for 3 scores in their overtime victory last week, and he picks up 7 there.
Big play by Mr. Cox. He steamrolled the linebacker on that play, and so it looked like they're going to try to get his feet moving.
And this is another run in between the tackles on a 2nd and about 3, and they're going to get to the line to gain. They give about 4 on the carry there. Jacob Harrington, the senior running back.
Yep, that was a big pickup by them. But again, one play at a time, they move the chains.
And Harrington has not got any action through the first 2 weeks, but getting the opportunity here in district play, as that is a big rip through, Shannon, on the run to lose a couple yards.
Number 99 has come to play. This guy is having a ball game tonight. What a big hit for him in the backfield for a loss.
Already a couple TFLs for Evan Nayetta. And it's Cox with a quick hitter to the outside. Tackle broken there for Carmelo Torres. And a nice run after the catch on the perimeter to pick up close to a 1st down. And they're going to give him about 10 on the play. 3rd and about 2 to go as we're in the closing stages of this first quarter.
Probably going to bring the defense on a blitz. Looks like they just play a base. Well,
and Cox keeps it himself, and he's going to get stopped up in the backfield, wrapped up by Bryson Burgess, who had the interception earlier. Flag comes after the play from the far side.
Yeah, the defense did a great job of plugging the holes, and Mr. Cox had nowhere to go but to bounce it outside, and the cornerbacks did a great job of pursuing. So they got him for a loss. We'll see if it stands.
We'll see what the flag is. So on the defense,
Eleven.
12 men.
Yeah.
Hey, you can tell us.
Okay, yeah, 12. I'm sorry. 12, I'm sorry.
Oh,
12 men on the field. That was the play. I'm sorry.
So 12 on the field for Colleyville, but they definitely looked like a huge loss, but too many men on the field. 21-0. A good catch right there, and Carmelo Torres in motion. Cox looking over the middle, and the first time he's able to make a connection over the middle, and he hits his guy, Xavier Green.
Miscommunication in the secondary. They were in man coverage, and number 7, the cornerback and the strong safety, didn't call their banjo call, and they were able to call and pick up the 1st down.
End of the first quarter, 21-0. Panthers lead. Panther Friday night on Tradio.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Panther Friday night on Radio as we start the second quarter. Colleyville with a strong start. They lead by 21. And it's 2nd and 2 from the 43 as the Cougars look for a good drive. Their first two have ended in 2 picks and a punt. This is a look over the middle, and they catch Carmelo Torres over the middle, looking for the wide out, but he's not able to haul it in to make it a 3rd and 2.
Oh, man, that would have been a great catch. He laid his body out, and I thought he had it from this angle, but he must have dropped it. Too much pressure on the ground, caused him to drop the football.
And a handoff, good cut up the field to pick up the first down, wrapped up by Hebeson, but on the carry, it's Aiden Gibson who is able to move it on forward for the Colony.
The Colony seems to be on the move right now, first down, and they're moving fast, no huddle, and they're just trying to get on the scoreboard before halftime.
Opening minutes of this second quarter and going for it all down the field. It's incomplete, but Hayden West commits the pass interference. They were looking for their main man, Xavier Green, in the end zone, and he's going to get called for a pass interference. He had good coverage on him the first time they looked Green's way for the interception on Cox's first throw. Right there, though, that's going to give the Colony good field position.
Yep, he mistimed it. If he stayed on him, and I guess they said that didn't happen in the end zone, because if it happened in the end zone, they would be on the 2-yard line. So the Panthers catch a break right there.
So a 1st and 10 from the 24. And Cox steps up in the pocket, throws it down the field, nearly another interception. There is a flag in the backfield. Deidrean Gaines was there. This likely to be a holding call. And it is against the offense. They'll hit the reverse 10 yards.
That would have been a big play if the safety comes down with that ball, because he did have opportunity to make a pick, being that it was a holding on offense. The Panthers could have picked that ball up, so there's a missed opportunity there to stop the Cougars from trying to get in the end zone before halftime.
So 2nd and 20, or 1st and 20, check that after the holding call. And Cox looking to the outside, and that's just another off-target throw, and just off time. They look for Tyler Osborne Jr. And even on that throw down the field on that one-on-one coverage, you're just seeing just a little bit out of rhythm for this Colony.
Mr. Cox, for whatever reason, maybe it's the 2 picks, but he's off. I just saw him throw that ball out there with no urgency. He just slung it out there, and the defender was 3 yards off the receiver, so that should have been an easy catch. But Mr. Cox has got to put him on the money.
So 2nd and long. Cox going to take it himself and picks up a good gain. Keeps going. West is able to knock him down.
Looked like he's hurt. Run. Good run, but looked like he's down. They might have knocked the wind out of him. Hopefully he's okay.
Cox still on the turf. He continues to make his way up to his feet. A good sign to see for the senior quarterback. He's been the signal caller for this offense for a few seasons, taking the reins, and he gets up to his feet, taking a hard hit on that gain of about 17 yards on that run.
I was saying before that play that looked like he's a little shook up with his arm, but he's not shook up with his legs, guys. That was a big run for him, and if it stands, it'll be 3rd and short. Unfortunately, he's going to have to come out for a play and let the backup quarterback come in and take his spot for a play.
So Cox comes off, and he's been the only one who's been the quarterback this season for the Colony. And now it's a look at Jalen Gaines, the backup quarterback who comes in on a big 3rd and 3. Gaines gets it. He's going to take it himself. A pitch to the outside, and getting wrapped up there is Aiden Gibson. No room to go. Darian Lloyd with good closing speed. The outside backer able to make the tackle and set up a fourth down right from the 20.
Well, I'm not sure if they trust the backup's arm, so it looks like they're going to kick this and go for the field goal and help their quarterback, Mr. Cox, try to get back in the game here before halftime. But that was that injury for the moment seems to put them back a little bit because they were marching in for the touchdown prior to his injury.
So a 37-yard try here for Patrick Putz. Kick is up. It's blocked right there. It's another blocked field goal try. The 3rd time the Panthers have come in this season and done just that. It looks like a ton of people got in the backfield. Demarius Logan may have been the one to stop that.
Now that I think about it, if these guys have watched film for the last 2 weeks, I probably wouldn't have went for that because it seems like the Panthers are magnificent week in and week out at blocking field goals. So I probably would have went for that just to give me a better opportunity because that play didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, may have to get another look to see exactly who got that. I mean, everybody was there. Dax Hebeson, Bryson Burge. I mean, and those were the two who blocked the field goals in week 1. I mean, just you talk about the ability to do that and save your team 3 on the scoreboard, something that could really come into play throughout this schedule here in district action. In a new district this season for Colleyville, and the consensus is a much tougher one as well. Good skill to have on the special teams unit.
Well, the special teams unit, we used to say back in college, let's get to the ball and throw a party at the football. So it seems like that the field goal unit, they are definitely the field goal block team. Those guys have been throwing a party every week.
Hey, the field goal unit as well. You look at week 1 with 3 field goals, but interesting conversation that's happening right now. I wonder what this is about, Shannon.
Not sure. I saw the head coach for the Colony throwing a little bit of a fit there, so I'm not sure if they missed something, but they are definitely huddled up, and they will talk about it. We'll see what happens.
Lengthy huddle up. And perhaps is it where to place the ball after the kick is blocked? Where do you place the football? Yeah. Right?
That could be it. That could be, but I don't know why he would argue again. I think it's before that because it doesn't matter. The Panthers would have the football anyway.
Either way, and they're going to have it in this territory, right? You go from where that line of scrimmage was on the blocked kick, but that again, you know, I would assume that's what they're discussing, unless there was a timeout called, something that we don't know, but we look at the scoreboard and it is 3-2, and we knew the Colony took one at the tail end of that opening quarter.
Look like it's going to stand. Both teams exit off the football field, so look like there will be a kickoff with the
Compass Church brings us the second quarter.
Well, there's no kickoff. There should be a return. This is getting a little confusing here. We're just trying to figure this thing out. So look like the Panthers will get the football. No. We need to find out what happened.
We do.
It's 1st and 10, the Colony's ball, and we don't know why. That should have been the Panthers' ball off a block field goal.
No flags?
No flags.
Interesting. Well, we will try to get on the case. So the Colony has the football after what looked like the Panthers blocked a 37-yard try. In the meantime, it's a nice stop made by the Colleyville defensive end Maddox Moreno. Set up a 2nd and 8, but that is, I mean, what happened?
Well, I don't know. Now think about it. I'm trying to figure out if the ball ever got to the catcher and got off the kicker's foot. It might have been a fumble. Flag on the play.
But there's a highlight reel catch as well made from the Colony, but a holding call's going to wipe that away, as that was a nice look to Xavier Green. He's getting one-on-one coverage tonight. Somebody that averaged over 20 yards a catch a season ago with 45 5 catches. He was their newcomer of the year in their district, but another holding call wipes another big play away for the Colony.
Yeah, you can't afford to do that with your starting quarterback out. And that's a big play because that would have been on the 10-yard line going in for a first down. So, again, the Cougars, all they want to do is get on the scoreboard and make this thing look a little bit better and go into halftime and get their stuff together and come back out and hope to get back in this game. But they're going backwards at the moment.
Still trying to figure out what happened on that blocked kick as they get a hit to the outside. Casano moves it inside the 35-yard line, but a holding call, that happened before they got to the point where it was 4th down and they blocked the kick. And while all this has gone on, it's been Jalen Gaines who is the quarterback, not the man that we talked a lot about coming in through 2 weeks, had 10 touchdowns in Carson Cox, and who only had 1 interception through 2 weeks. The first few throws he had 2, and it gave Colleyville an early lead. A backup quarterback now in the mix in the sophomore Jalen Gaines. 3rd and 15. Gaines gets pressured, tries to escape the pocket, throws it down the field, and it's intercepted again. Second one of the day for Hayden West.
Well, the quarterback tried to throw over his body. I know he was trying to make a play, and it looked good for a while. The receiver actually bat the ball up in the air, causing a pick. So that was just a bad play overall. The quarterback should have ran it out of bounds or just threw it out of bounds. But listen, picks are coming back to haunt this Cougar team.
Hayden West with another interception, his second of the day. He picked off the first pass that Carson Cox attempted tonight. And now, after Cox had a 17-yard run, he was helped off after being shaken up, and it's been Jalen Gaines in the game. Got it to a 4th down where they looked to try a 37-yard field goal, somehow got the ball back, and still the same result. The 3rd time the Colony's thrown an interception tonight. Nice hit over the middle there. It's Luke Graves, the all-district tight end from last season. 2nd time they've looked his way, but the 1st time he's hauled it in, and a big gain for Luke Graves.
Yeah, the Colony's leaving the middle wide open, so Graves is going to have a big night until they hone in on that. He's just hitting right over. That was a simple pitch and catch. The College football Cougar defense has got to do a better job looking up their man, and if they're playing zone, they're playing too soft.
And here at Tommy Brick Stadium, it is the 2nd quarter. Scorebook says the first. That's just because it hasn't changed here in the stadium. Weaver drops back, scans the field, has plenty of time, then gets wrapped up from behind. And Weaver going to take a loss on the play of about 5 yards after they had a nice gain to Luke Graves over the middle, one of the guys that's back in the mix for this offense. An added element here for district action and a captain on this team. Weaver hits the reverse as he gets sacked.
Yep, looked like a zone blitz, and they were able to get to him for a 4-yard loss.
21-0. Panthers in complete control. 3 interceptions and a punt. That's the 4 drives for the Colony thus far. But a 2nd and 14. They give it off to the outside to Abram. He has some space, and he gets across the 35-yard line. That'll set up after the 8-yard gain. Should be 3rd down and manageable here for the Panthers with 6.5 to go until halftime.
Listen, this is a big play for the Cougars defense. They've got to stop these guys and try to get the ball back with 6 minutes left and get in the end zone. I don't care if it's 3 points, which they've not had any success doing, but they've got to find some points to give themselves a little bit momentum coming in for the 3rd quarter.
Weaver, he's going to step up in the pocket, hits Graves once again. He gets across midfield, and look at Luke Graves go. He wants to bring some tacklers with him, 5 extra yards, and that will move the chains right along for the Panthers into the Colony territory.
Pitch and catch again. The middle's wide open. You gotta take that away from him. You gotta get a linebacker. Somebody's got to get him from running scot-free off the ball, because that was just a quick pitch and catch for a 1st down.
You talk about with Graves' absence the first few weeks, you saw Nikwan Kambi, Samir Johnson, they got some more confidence. You add him back into the mix along with Blewett. They've got some weapons after the 17-yard gain. Blewett takes a big shot right there. Or Weaver, excuse me, the quarterback who kept it himself. And it's going to be pickup of about 5 on the play after the quarterback, Bodie Weaver, kept it himself but paid a little bit of a price as well. And it looks like there is a Cougar that went down on the play as well.
I was just about to say there's a Cougar down there. I didn't see him, but listen, right now at this point in time with district play, you're up 21-0. I wouldn't run my quarterback in this situation like they're doing. He took a few hits right there, and all it takes is the right one at the wrong time, and that's not going to be good for the team. I would continue to run Abrams and the running backs. They seem to be doing a great job running the football, and I would also just focus on my weapons on the outside.
It's a great point that you make because taking unnecessary hits really whenever the score is first district game, especially early in the season, and you saw that he's the competitor, the warrior that he tried to show in the first few games of the season, particularly against Red Oak. One thing Jerry Edwards said leading into the second game was, yes, we want him to take less hits, but he said that's just in his DNA. He's a big competitor, but something that you make a great point, you have to continue to keep your quarterback healthy.
Even being a good competitor, he has to be smart. He's the captain of the offense. He's probably the captain of the team, I'm sure. So with that, he's got to take care of his body, especially right now. He's got to slide. He's got to get down. He can't afford to take unnecessary hits. So he has to be smart, even being a warrior.
2nd and 5 from the 37, about 5 and change to go in this second quarter. It is indeed correct. On the bottom of your screen here, Panther Friday Night on Tradio. And it's Weaver who connects with Blewett. Blewett tries to evade a tackle, but he will make the necessary catch and yardage for the first down.
That was a good play by Mr. Blewett. He should have been down, and he just makes 2 or 3 guys miss and picks up the first down. That guy's a heck of an athlete.
Headed to Northwestern, had over 200 yards in week 1. You see him lined up, and that's something a lot of the versatile receivers can do across all levels, is they can line up and beat you from multiple areas of the field. It was a tight formation there. Weaver takes a home run shot. He looked for Blewett. He was double covered, sandwiched between Chavez and Trey Burton, but he was looking for it all. And again, from the 33-yard line, that's the exact touchdown reception length that Braden Blewett had on the opening drive for Colleyville.
Well, they're moving the ball, and the Cougars haven't done anything to stop them. When it's first down, I'd go for it too. You know, sometimes you just got to go for it early, try to put this game absolutely away, and it looked like that's what they were trying to do. But I get it's only 2nd and 10, and right now I'm pretty sure they're going to their goal right now is to get some points on the board before halftime.
2nd 10 from the 33. Outside, gets off to Wiley, and he turns the corner with plenty of burst. And there's a flag on the play as well, as Wiley showing his tough prowess on the ground. See what the marker is.
Wiley has some jets. I mean, he turned that corner, and there are some Cougars standing right there, and he just went right around him. But looked like that may be coming back.
21-0 Colleyville with the lead, but this will come back. A holding call. 4.5 in the second quarter.
2nd and long, and trust me, with a guy like with the name Blewett on your team in this situation, you're not panicking at all.
With 2nd down, they give a handoff there to Wiley. Coming in to make the play, it's Jaden Rogers, the returning linebacker for this group, and he read the run extremely well. Second-year linebacker and the senior, but last year nearly 100 tackles, gets into the backfield.
Well, he took advantage of the opportunity because nobody blocked him, and he saw that and was able to blitz in the backfield and make the play. So good play by him, but a misplay by an offensive lineman somewhere.
21-point lead for the Panthers with the football, 3rd and long. Weaver stepping up. He continues to go, and he'll take a hit around the 35-yard line. And so it will set up a 4th and about 12. This second quarter brought to you by Compass Church, and a pickup of about 6 yards. And from the 31-yard line, we'll see what the Panthers want to do. Will be a punt for Zucker.
I don't think they have enough men on the field. The Panthers seem to be a little short.
Because it would be, about a 52-yard try? But instead, they'll go for the punt. I mean, Zucker, he showcased, 46? His career long in week 1, and a timeout is going to be called.
Yeah. Men short. It looked like they appeared a little thin to me, so they kind of got marching out a little late and forcing them to take a timeout. But I thought they would try to give this thing, being up there up 21-0, try to go ahead and set their field goal kicker up for a nice little, tough try at it. Why not? It's
52?
It's a confidence booster. I mean, the guy has it's all it is.
And when he did hit 46,
yeah.
he hit it.
That's all it is.
Yes.
I mean, whether he misses or not, I mean, it's just one of those things you never know down the line that you're going to need that play. So if it were being up 21-0, I would give it a shot.
Especially with the way your defense has played tonight.
For sure.
3 picks and a punt. That's what the defense has pitched so far. And after the first couple weeks, a lot of points allowed in the first half. They've pitched a shutout so far, and they're just going to try to pin the Colony deep, and you get that part of it too. You pin them deep, you play the field position game because they haven't moved the ball. You're going to be set up in good company if you get the football back with under 3 to go here in this second quarter.
The Cougar defense, I'm guaranteeing they're playing safe right now. It looks like that because they don't know if these guys may try to pull a – yep, there they go. They're faking it.
Zucker trying to take it himself, and he gets wrapped up. And it's right around the 40-yard line. Reading that one well, playing it safe and playing it aggressive was Sean Keenan with the stop.
Yeah, just looking at it with the timeout, running people on late. I could just see that from up here that these guys has had something up their sleeve. And so when I saw the Cougar defense playing safe, they knew it too.
So Zucker, the punter, first year starting as a punter, but returning again as a kicker a couple times in all-district selection. Plenty fast, but not able to get to the edge that time.
And again, you got nothing out of that. Why not try for the field goal? Just for a momentum booster. He hits it, your side goes crazy. And if he gets even closer, at least you know what kind of depth he's got with that leg. So, I don't know. I thought they might have should have went for that one.
It'd be fun to see him try to showcase the range as the backup quarterback. Still out there, Jalen Gaines. If you're just joining us, it was last drive that Carson Cox had a 17-yard run. Looked like he set up a second and short situation for the Colony. Instead, he came off the field. The backup quarterback, Jalen Gaines, came in. It got to be 4th down. A field goal was blocked. Somehow the Colony kept the football, and then they threw their 3rd interception of the day. So they have the ball for the 5th time, and down by 21. They want to just muster something up before going into the locker room.
Right now with Mr. Gaines, I guarantee you he doesn't have the arm that Mr. Cox has. And right now they're just doing the run game and trying to get him going as well with the running back. And they're doing, like right now, just a quick play. But that's not going to work right now. You've got to be able to get the ball down the field. And I don't know if he's got a deep ball like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys come out with here in the second half.
Really tough situation to deal with when your starting quarterback goes out, and he did not start the game at least the way the Cougars would have hoped. And then you couple a 21-point hole, but a big hole there, and a rush all the way up to the 15-yard line. Jacob Harrington plunging through the line.
Looked like the linebackers missed the play. He seemed to be sacked, and he turned those legs and was able to pick up a big play and giving the Cougars an opportunity to score before halftime.
They want to move quickly with under 2 to go until the break. And scrambling, looking up the field, and just going to settle for a loss of a few yards there. Jalen Gaines, the sophomore quarterback, just takes it out of play.
Yeah, and that's a youth mistake. That's a young, he's a sophomore. I get it, but you've got to throw that ball away. You got a minute 33. You got to save time. He's got to understand you got 4 people in front of you. Throw it away so you don't lose any yards and stop the clock.
Minute and 33 seconds. That's all that remains in this first half. Gaines looks toward the corner, and Burgess tight in coverage, but not catchable there on the intended target to Xavier Green.
Gaines has a nice arm, I can see that. But it seems to be he has to be squared up and really in a good position to throw the ball because he's flying the ball over his receivers. And when he's doing that, his body's in crazy positions because he's running right and running left. He may need to just square up and put the ball on the money.
Bryson Burgess. Pressure coming again against Gaines. He's looking to the sideline, and he gets chased down by Colleyville's Evan Nayeta.
This defense is flying around. I mean, every single play Gaines is running for his life, and he's not able to sit in the pocket and make an accurate throw. That's the problem. So in order for these guys to get something off, the offensive line's got to do a little bit better job of blocking these guys up front to give Mr. Gaines enough time to get rid of that ball.
And one thing you do with a young quarterback in an experienced defensive front, you want to put pressure on him. Not comfortable running this offense, certainly, and with less time to do it, just like this, the pressure is swarming, and he gets rid of it and makes a connection there to Cazanzo, and he keeps moving forward and pushing into the end zone. Nice play on the extension of the play, and it's Vincent Canzano who puts the Colony on the board for the first time here tonight.
Okay, it appeared that they were going for 2, but I guess the coach changes his mind. But that was a play by Mr. Gaines, not giving up. And again, yes, I was criticizing him for being young and really getting rid of the ball, but he was patient on that one as he was running towards the sideline, and his tight end crept open, and he delivered the ball for a touchdown. Great play by Mr. Gaines.
21-7 is what the Colony hopes pending this extra point. A timeout will be called, but a 21-yard touchdown. Jalen Gaines, he was just running for his life on that drive, had to on that occasion, but is able to create, finds Vincent Cazano, and if you convert here, the Colony goes into the locker room down by 2 scores. It's a much different feeling than saying, hey, our first 4 drives, we threw 3 picks and we're down 3 scores. To say we're down 14 and going into the locker room with a score, that gives them confidence as well.
Well, look at the game. It's 21. It's been 21-0 forever, and the Colony has found a way, like I said, to get on the board, and that's all they were trying to do. This Panther team has got to find a way to keep pressing and to keep scoring because they've kind of they've leveled off a little bit, and this team now with a backup quarterback has found a way to score. That is momentum for them, so we'll see what happens in the second half. This game is going to get very interesting come third quarter.
And the big run on that drive from Jacob Harrington was able to execute what was an 8-play, 59-yard drive, connected a 21-yard pass, and the extra point blocked again. The Panthers making a block party here this season, and they want to take it back. Here comes Lloyd up the sideline. He continues to roll, and it looks like he stepped out of bounds. Oh, man. How exciting is this block for Colleyville here this year? 4 times they've come up with the block, this kick block unit. Man, one of the best units on this Panther squad.
Listen, I'm going to find a way to give this guy, the kick block unit, a nickname. They deserve some type of nickname, and nicknames are huge in the locker room. But these guys are great. That's awesome to see, and that's probably why the head coach for the Colony called timeout to just figure out what they want to do to get back in this game. But he's got to figure that out. I would not be going for it. I'd rather go for it than have that field goal block unit out there because that's all they do.
And a big credit to Ron Mendoza, the special teams coordinator, because special teams has been a plus for Colleyville this year, but we'll let you work on that nickname because they have been pretty dangerous.
They deserve it.
That's all we got.
Well, with 1:02 to go, I mean, really, they saved what was 3 points potentially if the kick was going to be good going on the board, and then another there. And you say, okay, it could have been 21-10 going to the locker room, but a blocked field goal and blocked extra point, 21-6. Man, not much. And then, hey, Lloyd was thinking, I'm going to take this back and add some points for us, and he stepped out across midfield.
Well, he had it made. If he keeps running, he had a blocker. I don't know if he saw he had a blocker. There was two guys that were blocking for him, and if he just keeps running, his guy makes that block, and he doesn't step out of bounds. But all in all, good play by the Panthers, and those guys are awesome on that field goal block team.
Short kick here, and it's caught by Graves. Graves going to get
Not the black.
up to the 44-yard line.
No, I'm talking about
Thank
the
everybody
battery,
for
the big
tuning in
battery.
tonight. Panther Friday night on Tradio, live here on YouTube, and this second quarter is presented to you by Compass Church. Just 57 seconds left in this second quarter, but Shannon, we'd like to let the fans know that on YouTube, we'd love for you to comment. Let us know where you're listening from, and we'll be sure to look at that at halftime and be able to look all across the DFW Metroplex and beyond for the fans tuning in from both sides here on Panther Friday night on Tradio.
Yes, sir. That's awesome. Please do comment, share with us how you like what we're doing and what you think of the game.
Like, subscribe, the whole 9 yards.
Like, subscribe, do all of that.
And here's a big-time run. You'd want to subscribe to that. That's Bryce Abraham who runs it right up the middle.
There was no presence by the linebackers on that play because he just ran right through the A-gap and picked up a first down.
1st and 10, under a minute to go. Maybe here is where you're going to get your opportunity, Shannon. You wanted, I'll say we, I don't want to single you out.
That's okay.
We wanted to see a 52-yard try. Perhaps this is where you could see Colleyville, end of the half, get to see what Ryan Zuckert's leg is working with. If they get in that distance, maybe they're thinking for 6, but they've got a good situation here.
They're on the move right now, and they have 2 timeouts, and they're playing the outside, throwing the quick hitches out of bounds and trying to save some time to get there. So flag on the play. But I'm telling you, this Panther team is looking to score in 41 seconds.
And they definitely can do it with the quick strikes, but it's going to make it more difficult when they have to hit the reverse gear. A penalty on the false start against the Panthers.
That's not good.
What has been good tonight is the first 3 times the Panthers touched the football, they scored. And it was from 3 different candidates, from Braden Blewett catching a touchdown, Bodie Weaver running one, and then a touchdown run from Abraham. Colleyville taking advantage of 3 interceptions by the defense tonight, leading 21-6. And on 2nd and 10 after the penalty, Weaver looks down the field and another catch. Luke Graves having a night. Welcome back, Mr. Graves, to the Colleyville Heritage offense. And the clock will stop. Colleyville does have 3 timeouts in the bag, and they will take one right here.
Yeah, they should have took that a little earlier. I don't know. That's kind of weird, but yeah, nevertheless they took the timeout. They wasted a little time off the clock.
Right.
But they're in a range to score, and they're definitely in field goal range. So I believe they have 2 timeouts left. I think you go for one right now. I think you got to put one to Blewett or in the end zone and see what happens. Again, when you do that, either 1 or 2 things. You're going to pick up the first down or touchdown. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting for the next 26 seconds.
We should have, I think that was the first that they've taken, so you should have 2 left, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So with 2 left, you're going to get multiple opportunities to take a shot, and then you also have the confidence, hey, we're within range too, but I'm with you. If you were going to call a timeout, might as well call it when the clock does have that split-second stoppage when that first down gets going. So we'll see what they can do from 1st and 10. Football at the 23-yard line, 3 receivers set up on the far side of the field. Late run onto the field, the edge of the line, high snap. Weaver looks outside, and it's out of the reach of Blewett.
And again, I get that play because they don't want to use the timeout. That took 3 seconds off the clock. If he catches the ball, pick up probably around 3 yards right there. But again, the clock stops off the ball going out of bounds, so they're able to save those timeouts that they have in the bag.
2nd and 10 from the 23. It's going to be a rush here to Abram, and he gets it across inside the 20-yard line. Clock continuing to tick. Colleyville still with timeouts on the board, but they'll go again. Look toward the end zone, and Graves looking for it over the middle. It's incomplete. Good coverage right there. The linebacker, Sean Keenan, after a massive collision, and Graves unable to catch it. But with that ball being incomplete, Shannon, that does allow for Colleyville to take a field goal opportunity. But Keenan, he's down on that Cougars sideline, taking a big hit.
Listen, that was a heck of a hit by Mr. Keenan, but it looks like he took the bad end of that deal right there. He's off on the sideline on his knee right there. Looked like he knocked himself out of breath, but that was an awesome play on the football. And again, to your point, with 2 seconds left, these guys are going to be able to pick up a field goal if he can just get a good clean kick and put it right down the uprights.
It was also interesting that they still had some opportunities to work with the clock there at the end, understanding the time and score, and you catch that ball and you get tackled, no points go on the board. So it's almost thankful that that was a drop or an incomplete pass, mind you, because now you have a chance to put more points on the board. But it felt like there could have been more chances looking for the Panthers to get into the end zone, but we'll see if they can get 3 here.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is go into halftime with timeouts if you're trying to score. Why not call a timeout right there? You have about 10 seconds. It gives you don't have to rush, and gives you a little bit better opportunity to put the ball in the end zone.
Right.
I don't understand that.
And the only thing I can say is the scoreboard says they have 3. We know that's wrong, unless we're off and they didn't have any, because we know they've taken one, and from our understanding, it's just been the one on this drive. Unless that's wrong, then yes, all bets are off. A 36-yard field goal try. Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency brings you this field goal try from Ryan Zucker. He's had success. Graves to hold. The kick is up, and a big, strong boot for Ryan Zucker puts 3 on the board as Colleyville extends their lead heading to the locker room in this district opener. So a 24-6 score at the intermission. We'll take a break. It's Panther Friday Night on Tradio.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
When you're the #1 Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados, 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Welcome back here at halftime. Colleyville with a 24-6 lead, 3 interceptions in the first half. They cap it off with a field goal at the end. And all in all, a good half of action for Colleyville. This halftime is brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee. And we'll be back for the second half in just a little bit here on Tradio.
On call it the big time. Got your name in lights. Now you're gonna shine. Got 'em in your sights.
You wanna be great now. You're just trying to find a way out. I don't wanna tell you how to live, but I just don't want you to miss. And I don't mean to scare you. I want you to live, and I dare you to give this life all you have. Yeah, all you There's no way out of this. This life is all you get. One shot to take. Don't miss, just make. Don't get it twisted. We're on a mission to live life legendary. Yeah, we are legendary. We are legendary. We are not ordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. We are legendary. Living extraordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. Thin our blood. You're one of us. You're one of us. There's strength in our blood. You're one of us. You're one of us. We are legendary. We are not ordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. We are legendary. Living extraordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. You will remember our names. You will remember our names.
When you're the #1 Chevy dealer in the world, you have more inventory than anyone. Classic Chevrolet. Last chance through Labor Day only. We're offering model year-end savings early on all new 2024 Chevys. Like new Silverados. 14 grand in total savings. Don't miss out on 24s. 14 grand total savings. It's the final days. New Silverados will sell fast. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Can't get enough.
you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex Headshots. Unleash your professional image.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex Headshots. Unleash your professional image.
Panther Friday night on Tradio. Halftime presented to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company. Alongside Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly, and we look around the district, the other district game in action. There's a couple other tonight, other than the one here at the Colony where Colleyville Heritage has a 24-6 lead. Everman leads 14-7 against Grapevine, and last we saw no score in the Timberview Argyle game, but if we get more updates on that, we'll surely report it, as it's Colleyville who takes on Argyle in a couple of weeks and Timberview in a week. So we'll see what happens here. Shannon, great facility that we're at tonight, and I know a place that back in the day, if you turn back the clock back to the 1900s, a place you played at, right?
Yes, sir. In 1993, I was a sophomore, and that was our state championship year. And, this Colony team, not actually this Colony team, but the Colony team at the time, we actually tied. And with that tie, they interrupted a perfect season for us. And the 96 state championship team for Louisville, they always give us crap because they won a perfect record in one state, 96 versus our oops game. And so, and I was a little fired up and got kicked out that game. So I've never – Yes, overtime. So I've never had really much love for the Colony. And, it just is what it is.
So when did you get kicked out of the game?
It was in the third. It was, the game was out of control. It was probably fourth quarter. So when it didn't matter. We were getting our butts kicked, and they came back, and, we tied it up. And I still don't even understand the tie situation back then, but we tied, and they interrupted a perfect season. But, hey, we went on to win state that year, so it didn't matter.
Undefeated.
Yeah, they ruined the undefeated season. We tied one and we won the rest.
So you lost one game that year and tied one.
No, we just tied one. It felt like a loss. That felt like a loss because we tied. You don't want to tie.
Lose, though.
Yeah, but it felt like one. Given the team that we had that year and to go off to win the state title, it did. But hey, we got the job done.
As we set the table, and we got to hear more about that at some point, but as we set the table, Shannon, for this second half, let's give some credit to the defensive front for Colleyville. This is going to be pretty crucial this second half because with the Colony presumably down their starting quarterback who was pulled from the game and did not return in the first half, we'll see if he was able to recover at halftime or what the severity of that injury may be for Carson Cox. These guys are going to want to give pressure to the new quarterback, Jalen Gaines, and Demarius Logan, Evan Ayeta, Nehemiah Ole Iwolda, and Matthew Udemba.
Yeah, first half, these guys played tremendously good, finding a way to get the starting quarterback out. And they had a bunch of pressures and a bunch of tackles for loss. But here's the difference. They got a quarterback who can run now, and he's not going to let them sit there and get a clean shot. So, and the defense kind of mellowed out there for a second. So even though the score is 24-6, these guys have got to pick it up. Again, before coming into the game, we knew they would start. Our hope was they would start fast and figure out a way to keep the gas, their foot on the gas, but they kind of mellowed out. And so with that being said, they've got to, again, come back and start fast. If not, this Colony team could come out and put some pressure on them right out the gate.
That's a glance at the secondary. Now let's take a look at the third level of this Panthers defense because you look at what they've done, and this group has accounted already for 3 interceptions. Bryson Burgess, the captain, had 1. Hayden West put 2 on the board, including the first time that Carson Cox dropped back to pass. And for this defense to only allow 6 points in the first half after struggles in the first half, in the first 2 weeks defensively, and particularly last week when Richland was really able to get going, they came out great in 3 interceptions in the first half. That secondary was really clean as well.
I've seen the communication pick up. I've seen the quote-unquote banjo calls. These guys are doing a great job in the back, which I knew and I hope they would do, causing 3 takeovers tonight. That's huge for your offense. And so good job to the secondary of the Panthers for getting that done tonight in the first half.
You see Colleyville run on out for the second half. And it is interesting where you get all geared up, kind of like it's the restart of the game in a way.
Yeah, well, it definitely – well, listen, we always say 0-0. It's 0-0. Right now, that's what you say to your teams. You don't worry about the score because this game, things can happen. This is football. And you still got, another half of football to go. So you say 0-0 and you come out here and play like you're behind. It's point blank period. So it's going to be interesting. I love second half because now you get to see which team's going to make the best adjustments, which coach's staff has went in and made some changes, and let's see which team's going to execute those changes better.
You see Bodie Weaver getting hot on the sideline and came out much stronger as Eli Amerson snapping some balls to him, and that offense operated at a high level, and they were gifted great field position on the first 3 drives. What did they do with it? They cashed in, and the interceptions leading them to great positioning. You saw Burgess take an interception back nearly to the house. And for Colleyville, now you'll get to see what they can do as they will start with the football in this third quarter of action. Panther Friday night on Tradio here from Tommy Briggs Stadium in the Colony. As the Panthers continue district play next week, they'll be back at Mustang Panthers Stadium, home in Grapevine, Texas. So, about to get this kickoff underway, and a lot of intrigue because the storyline the first couple weeks for Colleyville, you fall down and you try to get back. Now you're ahead. What can you do when you're in the driver's seat as Gaines and Burgess are back to return?
Camera 2, I'll come to you if it's
this kick from Patrick Putz. He runs up and drills this kick and caught by Gaines as he makes a move across the 30-yard line, and a little bit of a juke, but a flag on the play, but looks like it will be a hold against the return team, but Gaines on that return for the Panthers.
Yeah, that's not good to start off with a penalty. Especially if it's holding going against the Panthers. And, again, those are things you can't allow to happen because this Cougar team, they want to get back in the game. They're going to fight to get back in, and now the Panthers will start with poor field position.
And speaking of the field goal returning unit, number 8 in the white uniform, somebody that your eyes just lock on when this Panthers team comes on offense, wasn't back there. It was Bryson Burgess and Gaines, and that's what it's looked like here tonight for the return game.
Well, he's out there right now. That's all that matters. And if this Cougar team wants to get back in, they got to find a way to keep the ball out of his hands.
Oh, yes. I mean, playing in the flow of the offense, that's been his bread and butter. Had a touchdown in the first half and has a touchdown in all the games this season. And a connection again. How about the tight end tonight? Mr. Luke Graves over the middle with plenty of space.
It's been open all night, and if it ain't broke, why try to fix it? I mean, he was wide open. He ran a streak right across the middle, and the quarterback put it on the money. First down. They've got to find a way to have a linebacker. They've got to communicate. You've got to pick him up. If you can't pick him up, pass him off by calling out man to the other linebacker.
And a pickup of 18 yards. Luke Graves.
Same play.
Same play, and back to Luke Graves. You said if it's not broke,
don't fix it.
And they go right back to Luke Graves once again, the tight end over the middle, having a great time tonight.
And again, it's very easy. It's pitch and catch. If your defensive coordinator is not going to change it, I would go back to it every time. This guy's going to lead the team in receptions tonight because the defense refuses to put a hand on him. They're letting him run scot-free down the middle. And guess what? He's set up again. Looks like the same play will be open to him if they don't put something on him.
Right in that space.
And now they give a handoff to Abram over the middle and a tackle made by Jaden Rogers. It would have been cool if they went back because an 18-yard gain, then a 19-yard gain. And it seems like this is one of the elements of the offense that Colleyville was missing in the first couple weeks. Attacks over the middle. They had the perimeter attack with Blewett and others, but now you got Luke Graves, big-bodied tight end.
And just as though you guys can understand, the linebackers, they're running a 4-2 set, and the linebackers are sucking up. You got to count for the tight end. When he comes across your face, you have to slow him down by putting a hand on him. If you do not, it opens up a hole over the middle, and that's what they're exploiting tonight.
Abram with the catch out of the backfield, and then looks like somebody loses a shoe. Not sure who does, but it was Abram who lost it, so he'll come off for a moment as one of the tires comes off for Abram. Not every day you see that. He'll come off, but he made a nice catch out of the backfield initially.
Hey, it did not stop him from picking up positive yards. That guy's a gamer. He can play. 1 shoe, 2 shoes, no shoes. He's going to play.
Well, he came off for a moment with one. Wiley checks into the backfield on a 3rd and 4. Pressure comes. Weaver goes down, and getting in immediately was Vincent Canzano. The lone touchdown that the Colony has scored tonight was one he caught, but plays both ways and gets the sack to make it 4th and 8.
Great play by the defensive coordinator. That was a blitzing down, and he chose to do so, causing a loss for down. And 4th down, they're going to punt the football. Good play by the Cougars.
And after the drive, Shannon started with an 18-yard catch, then a 19-yard catch, both by Mr. Graves.
Yep.
Ends up as a punt, but good to see that. You may be thinking this second half, can they continue to feed Mr. Graves? You know he's been hungry.
Well, I tell you, they have that play in their pocket. Like, it's open. There's no doubt about it. They hadn't stopped it, come close to stopping it. So I wouldn't go too far from it because when they did, they're punting the ball right now, and the Colony's about to get an opportunity to get the ball back and have an opportunity to go score.
In a fantastic punt by Ryan Zuckert.
Give me wider shot.
And you look at the pinning deepness for Zuckert. Did that football go out at the 5-yard line?
5-yard line.
Wow.
So
what
again,
a pin.
They got him pinned, so that's a great situation to put your defense in, who's been balling all night.
What a pin!
And, if Mr. Evans can continue to do what he's been doing all night, they could possibly pin these guys back for a touchback. We'll see.
I mean, you thought that was initially looked like it was going to go as just a touchback. No. You're pinned back at your own 5-yard line, and with the pressure coming this evening – will be a challenge. It is still Jalen Gaines out there, so still no Carson Cox, who left with injury in the first half. Handoff with plenty of space up the middle, trying to turn. Gaines tries to wrap down the running back Harrington, but Harrington brought him with him a couple yards before he's wrestled down, but a pickup of a first down and a good carry to get out of their own shadow of their own goalpost.
We call that sprint motion, trying to disturb the linebackers to keep their eyes off the backfield, which happened, which allowed him to pick up the 10 yards for a first down.
Nayetta, big run stopper. He just gives a big old push up forward, says, hey, you're not going to run on me, Jacob Harrington, and no gain on the play.
Yeah, if they're trying to run back at 99, you can forget about it. That guy is a stump, and he's not moving.
And he is. I mean, you look at that defensive front right now that features Udemba Moreno, and then it's also Nayetta and then Logan on the outside. That is a lot to handle on the right side of the line. That's the way they try to run. And Udemba comes up with it. Madden Williams, the middle linebacker, saying that he has the football, but looks like they're going to rule that the Cougars running back was down on the play. Jacob Harrington on the carry. Shannon, you probably did that a few times playing linebacker. Hey, I got the football, right?
Yeah, you have to try to sell it. You got to try to sell it. You know what I mean? So, good job for them. The referees just wasn't buying today.
All right, 2,
3rd and 10, though.
Back to 1.
And it will be a pass. Pressure comes and getting wrapped up from behind. A big hit applied, and it's Demarius Logan with the sack.
Well, I tell you what, I've been asking for him to stay in the pocket and pat the ball and throw it, but that's a coverage sack. Everybody was covered up. He had nowhere to go with the ball. He's got to get rid of it or run it. That's on him, but also the secondary had covered everybody across the board, and nobody was running open.
-8 on the sack. Marius Logan, great job, and that will force a punt from Patrick Putz from his own end zone. Burgess is setting up at the 45-yard line to return.
Two's up. The punter's on the right.
So it's going to be great field position either way, and they get the punt off. Burgess calling for a fair catch, but still starting in plus territory here for Colleyville, and that's set up from a pin of a punt by Ryan Zucker and a big sack by Demarius Logan to set up the punt with 6.5 to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, it's got to feel good to your offense starting in plus territory for most of the night. The Cougars they just hadn't done a good job of field position tonight, and giving these guys a short field to work with when they have so many weapons. It's kind of hard to keep them off the boards in these situations.
So a couple punts by both teams in the opening drive of the second half as this third quarter is brought to you by MFI Roofing. So 1st and 10 from the 48. Weaver looking, gives it off again to Abram, who has a burst of speed and plenty of space as he is just shy of the 30. That's Jared Wiley on the catch out of the backfield. Abram still not back in after he lost the shoe.
He's not. Listen, I give praise to Blewett, so I've got to criticize him here. He's got that's a drawn up play. He cannot let his man off the ball there. He potentially can pick up more yards there. Blewett lets his man go, makes the tackle. He's got to do a better job blocking for his guys. But
now Blewett, he's gonna say, "How about another 33-yard touchdown? His second of the evening."
He says, "Shut up, Shannon. This is what I do."
And Braden Blewett with another touchdown. He's had a touchdown in every game here this year. His second of the night from 33 yards out, exactly on the money.
Yeah, just one-on-one. He's too fast. He comes off, and it's just, it's easy. He's just a stud. I don't even know what to say about that one. But bottom line is, when you throw at that guy, big things happen.
And he was wide open in the back of the end zone. The extra point is converted. Those extra points are brought to you by Unified Health Advisors, Health Insurance Agency. It's all Colleyville. Braden Blewett with a pair of 33-yard scores as he was wide open in the back of the end zone. It's Panther Friday night here on Tradio.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
It's Panther Friday night on Tradio alongside the TCU Football Hall of Famer Shannon Brazil. I'm Will Connerly. Braden Blewett with a pair of 33-yard scores. His tally up to 4 already this season, trying to follow up what was a 20-touchdown campaign a year ago.
Well, he's definitely going to follow up at this pace. Listen, the guy's one heck of a player. I'm sitting there getting on to him, and then the very next play, he's going in it, walking into the end zone for a touchdown. That's just how special he is.
Yeah, well, let's go back to that, though. Explain the getting on him and then go back to the touchdown. He's just wide open. That was too easy for a player of that caliber. But when you talk about getting on him on that catch to Wiley, what should Blewett do in that situation?
Well, he gave up his block. He had him for a second. He let him go and released him. And when you got to block until your running back gets past you, and that's just the rules, right? And he let him go, causing the cornerback to come off and make a big play. When that play could have went for a touchdown because the running back has that much speed, he could have gotten in zone. But hey, Mr. Blewett took it upon himself to say, "Hey, I'll get it the very next play."
Would you say he made up for it with a 33-yard score?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And just this type of game, when they have it in hand later on down the road, that kind of play can bite you. So all I'm saying is you can't be selfish. You got to do your 111th, and on that play, your job's to block. Well, you block until the whistle blows.
And Bryson Burgess makes a tackle. Jalen Gaines, he's shown that the gains for him can come on the ground. He's been able, and he's kind of had to do it out of necessity at times, evade the pocket.
Yeah, it's been too much pressure coming at him, and he's just one that can make it happen with his feet, but the timing's going to be off just like it is now. He's running for his life.
Looks down the field, and it's incomplete. Intended target was Carmelo Torres, and that will make it a 3rd and short. He had a 7-yard pickup on that first down, but a 31-6 lead, 5:21 to go in the third quarter. Good way to start off district action for Colleyville as they are in control here in quarter number 3. 3rd down on the horizon.
Look like the Panthers going to bring a little heat.
You see Lloyd, the linebacker, looks like he wants to come off the edge and maybe be an extra rush, but a 3rd and short.
He's going to maybe check this to a run. Yeah, look like so. Oh, sorry, bootleg.
Pulls it himself, and can he pick up enough to get the first? Lloyd will wrestle him down, and plenty of space to move the chains.
Yeah, it's a good play for the blitz. He saw blitz, so the fake, get the linebackers up in the line of scrimmage, and he takes it outside, picks up the first down. Good play by Mr. Gaines.
Pickup of 10, and for a sophomore quarterback, you come into the game and everybody prepares when in the quarterback room for the game plan, but to do that as a sophomore behind a senior who's been starting for a couple years, in your first district game against this Panthers defense, a very challenging task as it is Gaines who keeps it himself, and this time he's going to launch it to the sideline and throw it away.
Well, this is what I'm saying. He's looking better now. It looked like he's getting his confidence. Even though they're behind, that's the same play in the first half. He's going to take off and run, and what does he do? He throws it out of bounds and live to see another day. That's the play. I'm sorry, nothing was there. Get rid of the football.
So 2nd and 10 from the 42. 5 and change left in the third quarter. Here from Tommy Briggs Stadium. Beautiful night in the Colony. Gaines gets stopped up from behind. Football is loose. He hops right back on him. And it was in the backfield, Julian Stewart, who was there alongside Demarius Logan. But Gaines was able to get right back on the football as they nearly had their 4th turnover of the evening.
This defensive front, I can say this every single play. They're applying pressure. They're getting up the field. Mr. Gain is running for his life. He's bootlegging left, bootlegging right, and it's just rough on him.
And here's another look at this play, Shannon.
We can't, not enough time. Sorry.
Or check that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's hey,
a
listen.
song for another time. We'll see it one day.
Hey.
-7. But 3rd and 17, going to heave a prayer down the field, and he gets it to his favorite target in Xavier Green and gets right around midfield.
It's going to be 4th and short, but that's a good play for these guys. That's basically a stop route, and he steps back 3-4 yards, about 5, I guess, on that one. That's still 4th and 5, but still that's a big pickup and nice pitch and catch by the Cougars.
So 4th down 31-6 toward midfield, pushing the envelope, no question about that.
Or the envelope, depending on who you are.
So 4 yards to gain with 4 minutes to go. And Gaines drops back. He wants it all, looking deep and pass defended. Chase Gibson coming up in the secondary.
Yeah, that ball was a little underthrown. He threw off his back foot and wasn't able to get it over the top, so that was a great play by the defense.
And Chase Gibson, somebody that was really taking the spotlight in week 1 against a lot of the Red Oak receivers, and you see one-on-one what he's able to do here.
Yeah, I mean, that was good. Again, good play. But if you look at it, the quarterback's in there. He tries to hold the linebackers up there, but he threw it off his back foot, and he just threw it everything he got. It was short, and it was just a good play by the cornerback.
And then he gets the celebration.
Because I'm telling you, if he puts it on the run, he's beat. You know, he's beat. If he throws a good ball, the guy's beat. So, again, he just underthrew him.
And now it's another deep shot down the field, and it's incomplete. This time, the intended target down the field was Trevor Preicha, the sophomore wide receiver.
Well, the ball appeared to be overthrown, and the only reason it appeared that way because Mr. Weaver took a hit. He was pressured on that play and wasn't able to step into the throw.
First time they've looked to the sophomore's way here tonight, but he's out on the far side with Wankambi and Blewett on the near side. Graves also out on the far side, lined up right by the numbers. And it will be Abram. Got the shoes back, and he gets up towards the 35-yard line.
Good play by Mr. Abram, doing what he does best, and that's keeping those legs turning.
All right, here we go. You ready? Replays up.
He's just able to create holes.
That's it. He's a strong running back. These guys, they got a good duo in the backfield. I mean, that's easy. Got some pressure. Offensive line giving a good time blocking. Looked like they sealed him off to the right, and he was able to get underneath on the left side and pick up the first down.
Yeah, sealing that edge really strongly was the left tackle, Parker Leatherwood, as Bodie Weaver escapes some pressure, throws it down the field, looking for Braden Blewett, but just tried to evade the pressure coming that forced him out of the pocket.
Well, that was a special play. The quarterback rolled out to the right, Mr. Weaver, and Abrams was running wheel route on the backside. It got covered up, and he took the ball and threw it across to a second option, but that play was intended for a wheel route on Mr. Abrams.
The Panthers leading 31-6, 3:12 to go, 2nd and 10 from the 35. And Weaver throws a pick. That's intercepted here by Noah Chavez, and he goes out of bounds. Noah Chavez on the interception, his 3rd of the year, and that gives the Colony the football.
Yeah, that was just a bad – they were not on the same page. It looked like he was trying to throw a curl route, and it looked like he ended up running more of a post. And, so just off – they're not on the same page on that play. He oversold it.
And just overthrew it in terms of the vertical because Preicha on the far side, he cuts in, and it's just over his head.
Yeah, just looks like a post route versus a curl. That looks like he was supposed to be more of a curl route or a go route. And when he cut in, that just lets me know they're not on the same page, and it's easy interception for the defense. Unfortunately, these guys are having a hard time moving the ball. So it's a big play, but they're going to have to find a way to settle this defensive line of the Panthers down because, again, they're rushing and getting upfield every single play, and they're throwing Mr. Gaines off, and they're just not giving him much time to throw the ball. So, good point, but right here, without stopping the defense, it doesn't do you any good.
Double pass. Nope.
Here is Gaines, who tries to get it to his main man in Xavier Green, but a drop on the short pass. They want the ball in his hands.
So you see a double screen happening right here, and that's what it was. You get misdirection over here trying to throw the defense off. Unfortunately, the guy drops the ball, but you had a double screen look right there. Just couldn't pull it off.
Just drops it, and you see that's easy look for Gaines.
With the running back, you got two linemen that's going to pull over there, and they're going to try to throw it back here.
Sorry, we got to get back to line.
And now they go back to the outside, and it is caught there by Osborne Jr., his first look tonight. And this is something that for the Colony, Shannon, not knowing how long Carson Cox is going to be out, hasn't returned, this is a game where Jalen Gaines can start to feel some confidence as he misses a throw right there. A wide open man in the backfield was Xavier Green once again trying to hit him on the short passes.
And, you don't know how many reps he's taking with the first team. Right there you see that they're off, they're off. The receiver steps back. He throws it forward. Those are Mr. Cox's reps, and he's not in the game. So at this point, they're just getting film for him to study next week to put him in the game if Mr. Cox doesn't come back and play next week.
2nd and 10, and it is Gaines who finally gets it off to Green, and Lloyd wrestles him down.
Everybody's wondering what's going on with Hamden. So you're the Hamden person.
2:40 to go in the third quarter of action. A pickup of 10 for Xavier Green, who had a monstrous week. 9 catches for 168 yards and a pair of scores in their 500-plus yard performance a week ago. Different story tonight.
Just hit the quick stuff, and if you've seen their catches, see, it's all quick. And right now, there's just a lot of pressure on them. You've got to do one, three drop kind of thing, get the ball out right now. And the plays that they're completing, that's what you're seeing. Anytime the receivers are running more than 10, 15 yards down the field, he's getting sacked or running, getting them out, pushed or harried out of the pocket.
And Madden Williams with the sack right there. The middle linebacker comes in to create the pressure. And it's Gaines who has just had to continue to deal with all the pressure this evening. And now Gaines has to go back and get the snap, and he is going to be having a massive loss. Logan's the first to get there, as it has been a tough night trying to be comfortable at all in the backfield for the backup quarterback.
I hope Mr. Cox is okay. My issue is they're going to get their backup, Mr. Gaines, hurt because they're not blocking for him. He's getting hit every single play right now. This offensive line has got to take some pride in what they do and find a way to block their men, do their job, and they're just not doing it tonight.
And that sets up third and nearly a quarter of the field. 23 to go, and he's being pressured once again and throws it out. So from a bad snap to a 3rd and long with nothing doing, secondary holds strong. Pressure has him evade the pocket. And on 4th and 23 with 1:13 to go, it looks like the Panthers will get the football back.
Mr. Gaines, that play's on him. Everybody they actually gave him time on that play. He's got to throw the ball, give his opportunity. One-on-one, throw the ball. You're down. You got to give a receiver a chance to come down with the play or maybe a penalty. Throw the football. He wants him to be open. Well, he may be open if you give him a good ball.
In some wideouts, a guy like Xavier Green probably operates on the mindset of he's always open, as it is punted off and fair caught by Burgess around the 15. So the Panthers offense back on the field, and for Bodie Weaver, after throwing the interception, we'll see how he can respond and operate this offense. They did add a touchdown on the board in the second half, a 33-yard score for Braden Blewett, his 4th of the season. But Bodie Weaver, coming off the heels of throwing his 4th interception of the season, what can he do with this offense for Colleyville in this second half? It's been a punt, touchdown, interception. They'll get it for a 4th time now in the third quarter.
Yeah, I expect for those guys to come out and do what they're supposed to do. Like it's 4th. There we go. And wait, what's going on here? Well, there a flag on the play because they're re-punting the football. I didn't see a flag, but they're redoing the play.
And it's 4th and long is what it looks like. They're going to re-punt this one.
Guys, there's 3 of us up here, and we've missed 2 calls tonight because we just flat out didn't see a flag, and next thing we know, they're redoing the play or something's happening different. What's going on?
And same result. It's a fair catch around the 15. So that one is one you're curious about. We're also curious about, in the first half, a field goal try from 37 yards for the Colony. blocked by Colleyville Heritage. However, the Colony got the football back after the block. Nobody knows why up here, but then it ultimately resulted in an interception, the third of the first half for the Colony, and didn't play a big role. And then that call just there didn't play a role at all. I mean, they're right back around where he fair caught it on the last.
See, that's why we need a third guy on the field so we can radio down to him and say, what happened? Because our eyes saw something totally different than what's going on right now.
But it's similar result. Start at their own 17, and it's a handoff to the Panthers running back, Bryce Abram. And he loses a pair of yards on the carry with under a minute to go in the third quarter.
I want to go back to Jalen Gaines because I want to make this thing clear. What I mean by throwing a guy open, if your receiver is underneath, you throw the ball shallow so he can come back to the football because the defender's over the top of him. If the defender's underneath him, you throw it over his head and give him an opportunity to go get a ball. That's what I mean by throwing him open.
And now looking for a man open is Weaver intended for Nick Wankambi on a 2nd and 12 play with now under 20 seconds left in the third. The clock will stop and it will set up 3rd and 12 as the Panthers have the ball at their own 15-yard line. It's Graves, Prysha, Blewett, and Wankambi as the 4 receivers, 2 split to either side for this Panthers offense. But they've had good opportunities for the Panthers to throw the football tonight, and that's a credit to the offensive line. Parker Leatherwood, Jaden Griffin, Eli Emerson, Tucker Perryman, and West Dalio Cubic up front.
Yeah, they've done a great job for the most part. It's just for whatever reason, these guys are not able to get in the end zone like they did in the first quarter or second half.
Here is Weaver on the move, and he gets pushed out around the 25 and tumbles on the sideline, but a good use of his legs, and they have put 1 score on the board here in the second half. That Bodie Weaver to Braden Blewett connection, we've seen 4 times it secured a touchdown this season and twice tonight, but after Weaver gets stopped up 2 yards shy of the first down, the Panthers will punt with less than 10 seconds left in this third quarter.
You know, and these guys can afford to, punt, with it being 4th and 3 because their defenses had been stopped all night, so why bother? So that's what the coach is saying. He's just going to let the defense win this game for him.
Last time they tried to punt, it was a beauty. The time before that, it was a fake that didn't work out the way that Colleyville would have liked, and now a flag comes up. A delay of game. The Panthers weren't able to get the punt off in time, so they'll back up 5, and it will be tough for Zucker to pin deep here. Gets it off. Nice kick that is fair caught around the 37-yard line. So doing his best to try to flip the field and give the football back to Jalen Gaines and the Colony offense. After Carson Cox, the senior quarterback and standout, who led the Colony to a 2-0 start with 10 touchdowns through 2 games, went down in the first half, and now we will see what can happen in this final fourth of the game. Fourth quarter coming up next. Through 3, 31-6 the score, and we will take a timeout. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. Alongside Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. And it's tossed toward the sideline right at midfield.
Incomplete. Looking for Xavier Green. The ball's come a lot to the junior tonight. He's had many targets.
Yeah, Mr. Green's got to come up with that football. That was a nice throw, and hit him in the hands. If it hits you in the hands, you got to catch the football. So that's on him. He's got to help his quarterback out. That would have been an easy first down.
And now we thought that was the end of the end of the third quarter when we took that last break. But we came back and there was 2 seconds left on the clock, meaning that a timeout was burned by the Colony on that last break with 2 seconds left. Before they then ran one more play to then bring it to the fourth quarter. So now is the official marking of the end of 3 quarters. We're into the final frame, and the fourth quarter of this broadcast is brought to you by J. Caldwell Pools. And so Panther Friday night on Tradio, 31-6, going into the fourth quarter. Shannon, your thoughts?
Well, right now the game is pretty much out of hand. Right now, if you're the Panthers, you try to play safe. And what I mean by playing safe, you still play hard because that's when you get hurt trying to play safe. But you want to get out here with no injuries and maybe start putting some of your backups in. And if you're the Cougars, you just try to keep playing good football and try to get some momentum going into next week. They've got to find a way to stop the pressure, though, from the defensive line.
So it will be nice stop made by Nehemiah Ole-Iwola for no gain. Stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. On the carry was Aiden Gibson. And really this Panthers defense, you cannot say enough about their effort after allowing 29 points in week 1, 43 in week 2. Despite winning one and losing one, only 6 has been hung on the scoreboard tonight, and that was on a very interesting broken play that was fantastically made by the Colony.
Yeah, it's good to see you bounce back and only giving up 6 points tonight. Being the last 2 weeks, they've given up a nice bunch of points, and it's good to see them not do that tonight.
And here is a massive gain here for Carmelo Torres. He eventually gets stopped by Gaines, and that the most impressive play tonight for the Colony, other than their score. And Shannon, another glance.
Yeah, so the DN got caught inside, and that was just a good spin by the quarterback to allow bought him some time, and then he's able to hit the receiver on the sideline, and he picked up some good yards after the play. Yak yards.
Yes, a lot of them, and they look his way over to now Green, as you saw Watkins on the tail end of the play before make his way off the field a little bit gingerly. In too many men on the field for Colleyville again. That's the second time tonight we've seen that, Shannon.
Yeah, you got to communicate on the sideline. The defense, the coordinator's got to call out, and his players on the sideline got to pay attention to what he's calling. Because you never know, nickel, dime. There's different people coming in and out. You just got to pay attention. That could cost them in a game that they're close to. They need to fix that fast.
Well, here's a drive that's brewing for the Colony after a big connection to Carmelo Torres. In the backfield, it's Jacob Harrington alongside the quarterback, Jalen Gaines, trying to direct this offense in the absence of Carson Cox. Vincent Canzanzo along with Torres and Green on the near side lined up with 3 receivers toward the bottom and 1 to the far side.
Yeah, I think Mr. Watkins on the last play was a little dinged up, and he was trying to get out, and they didn't. I think they had too many men on the field because of substitution error.
Just 4 seconds to snap the football. Man comes in motion, and that's going to be a delay of game call. Or no, timeout instead taken by the Colony, as they didn't want to surrender 5 yards and get back after they gained 5 on the too many men on the field. After that, nearly a delay of game, but they have to burn a timeout. Instead, we'll take one with them. It's the fourth quarter, 31-6. Colleyville leads Panther Friday night on Tradio.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey, you, 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today.
Panther Friday night on Tradio, 1st and 5, and Gaines getting pressured. Udemba giving some chase, thrown over the middle, and it's another pick. Second of the night for Bryson Burgess, and he runs on back. 2 picks for West, and 2 picks for the captain, Bryson Burgess.
Yeah, that was a pick, but that was a roll to the left by Mr. Gaines, and I believe he tried to throw it across his body again. And again, that's just a formula for a bad play, and it ended up in one.
The Colleyville Heritage defense. Man, let's get another glance.
Let's see, you got to fake it stuff up the middle to bring in the linebackers. He bootlegs left, and again, trying to throw. Yes, he threw across his body, and that's just a formula for a pick. You can't do that. He's just not that good right now to make that kind of play.
And Bryson Burgess is that good. The captain in the secondary, 2 picks for him and 2 interceptions for Hayden West as well. It has been a great evening collectively for the Panthers defense as they give a carry off to Jared Wiley, a pickup of 2, and you would think that for all they wanted to do to establish the ground, now's the time to just try to close this football game on out.
At this point, let's just get this game. Let's run the ball and let's get us out of here injury-free, and let's start focusing on next week. This game is over.
It would be entertaining, though, to see if they can continue to get Luke Graves wide open right over the middle as they have with plenty of success tonight. He motions across the line, but they will give it off to Wiley, and he'll bounce off tackle and breaks. Well, man, Jared Wiley, look at him go.
That's going to be a horse collar.
And he gets all the way to the 35-yard line. You called it. Tack on 15 with the marker down. But what an elusive run from Jared Wiley.
Hey, I like this guy, man. He's not the biggest thing, but I'm telling you, he has his heart. I tell people all the time, you can't judge a man's heart. That's awesome play.
Look at the hit stick he puts on.
1 tackle, 2 tackles.
Oh, it's the wrong one. My bad, guys.
We got pump faked there.
I was going to say,
a decent game.
I was going to say, if he comes out of that, then.
Man, but you add on 15 right there, and with 9:11 to go, that's a massive run from Jared Wiley. 32 yards for him. He had 24 yards in the first game of the season on 10 carries. Looking great and comfortable tonight. Jared Wiley, the sophomore running back, really starting to feel the lanes that he's able to operate with. And on that run, man, puts the shoulder down, breaks a tackle, and keeps on going. Colleyville in the red zone.
Well, one thing about small backs and shifty backs and powerful backs, those defensive linemen and offensive, they're big people. And all you got to do is get behind them and find the crease and hit it, and it works in your favor.
There's an easy reception to Braden Blewett. And let's get to this long-awaited replay. We've talked a lot about it. Let's see what Mr. Wiley can do with the football in his hands.
There's 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, 3 missed tackles, and the linebacker, the defensive end, is pretty fast, pretty good athlete, but you can't horse collar in this game.
And he ran about 10 yards with
I saw it coming.
Trey Simmons holding him.
You can't horse collar in this game. It's against the rules, guys.
Picks up 32 on the gain, 2nd and 5, and they're going to give it off to Wiley again, and he's really a nice cut up the field. When he's going horizontally, he's able to vertically turn, but not much doing on that carry. Still 3rd and 5 yards to go here.
Wiley's running like the game is tied or they're losing. I love this guy. I mean, he's not giving up one bit. He's trying to get in the end zone, and sometimes that's what you got to do. If they're going to keep him in and not rotate him, hey, let's get the ball in the end zone.
So 8.5 to go in the 4th quarter. Colleyville leading 31-6. Bodie Weaver, the quarterback. Got Jared Wiley, who's looked good tonight. Bryce Abraham also has carried the football. It's Wiley out there now, and it's a look toward the end zone, and Braden blew it nearly with a highlight reel catch. Instead, penalty markers come down. Noah Chavez of the Colony may get called for a pass interference.
Yeah, you can't do that. He got there a little early, that's all. He had him covered, but, with guarding Mr. Blewett, I'm sure you're a little anxious, so he got there just a little early. And I believe that's a flag in the end zone. It should be on the 2.5-yard line, or maybe not. Oh, high school, I'm sorry. It's 15 yards. It puts them close, though.
Maybe you're right, Shannon. You've been on the sidelines a lot this season.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, 2.5-yard line. Yeah. When it happened earlier, but he wasn't in the end zone. This one, it happened in the end zone, so they put the ball on 2.5-2-yard line.
Exactly right. I mean, you're right on the money, Shannon. Don't let people tell you you're wrong.
Hey, man, sometimes I'm looking. That's okay.
Okay, here's Mr. Weaver. He goes out for it, looking for the end zone, and it's Dax Hebeson for the touchdown. And Colleyville putting this game away.
Big play. Again, if they're going to stay out there, put it away. Wide open. You have to do your job on that. He ran right past his man, and they were in man coverage on the defense, and he ran right past him. So that was a breakdown on the cornerback there.
So a 2.5-yard touchdown catch for Dax Hebeson, and he is able to get on the board. He is an outstanding outside linebacker for this team, but we've seen him utilized in these goal line packages and sometimes in the other operating sets throughout the field. And here is the kick attempt. That is by Landon Dressel, not Ryan Zucker, but result similar.
Still the same. He drills it.
72-yard drive, took 5 plays, capped off by a 2.5-yard run. We'll stay with you here on Tradio. 38-6 the score. Dax Hebeson gets on the board. Landon Dressel, not Ryan Zuckert, converts the extra point. And that extra point is brought to you by Unified Health Advisors, Health Insurance Agency.
What number is Hebeson?
So Landon Dressel getting out there.
What number is Hebeson?
The junior. Number 14. And Dax Hebeson, number 12, the linebacker, who was able to run out of the backfield and showing that he can play both ways. He's able to get the touchdown.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool play. I mean, you get on to it, but off a penalty, you got to put it in end zone. So now at this point, it's 38-6, 8 minutes. Let's start rotating some people in and out. You don't want to get banged up over pride. This game is over. They're not coming back. So I would take out my star players and let some of the backups get some time, get some experience. They're going to need that down the line anyway.
And that's probably what you saw with a junior in the PAT, and you'll probably see that with all the other areas, the offense and the defense, as they try to do that on the special teams also. But that touchdown set up by Braden Blewett in the end zone, tough cover, gets the penalty. Like you nailed it, Shannon, gets it on the 2.5. 1 play later, Dax Heveson's celebrating in the end zone.
Like I've always said, if you throw the ball to Mr. Blewett, only good things can happen. Either you're going to get the ball for a touchdown, first down, or penalty. And that's what happened.
8:01 to go in the fourth quarter.
There's been a lot of huddling up with the referees from the Colony side tonight. They have a lot on their mind they got to say to the referees tonight. So
38-6 score, and it will not be Zuckert. It will again be Landon Dressel to kick this one off.
Camera 2, you're up.
And it's caught around the 15-yard line. There by Xavier Green. He stays on his feet, gets to the outside, gains a ton of yards up toward the 50 where he's forced out. And a great return from Xavier Green.
All right, good return. I mean, he was some little juking in there and looked like they had him sealed, but he used his quick feet to bounce the ball across the field and pick up some positive yards. Yeah, what a play, shifty play. These guys have got to learn how to stay in their lanes and maintain, pursue the ball. They broke down in coverage on that, and I'm pretty sure there's some backups in there, and that's where you start in your special teams by putting your backups in, and so it looked like they broke contained, and the running back was able to take advantage of it.
So a 34-yard return for Xavier Green. We'll have this offense set up a 1st and 10, 1 yard shy of midfield. The pitch out to the back. They give it off to Green. 1 tackle is missed. Hebeson is able to force him out after Lloyd tried to be the first one there to make the stop. As they try to run the pitch back there, and they eventually get it off to Xavier Green.
Yeah, anytime that you throw in a new play, and they hadn't lined up in doubles, they hadn't lined up in 2-back all-night shotgun all night long, and then you do it, what do you think is going to happen? The defense is there to say, hey, something's up here, and they try to run an option, they lose on it. 2-yard loss.
7:41 left in the fourth quarter, and it's out to the outside. They have a nice reception there to MJ Muchembimba, and he has a big gain. Watkins, who was there in the coverage.
Yeah, good play by Gaines, though. You sat there, and again, now that's his game. Give him time, and he'll be able to put together a nice throw and a nice play for you. But when he looked like, oh, my goodness, broke play for a touchdown.
Quick hitter there, and it's Xavier Green who gets the touchdown. The second score for the Colony. And after Muchembimba got the big play, a quick hitter, they hurried up to the ball. A screen to Xavier Green, the man who had the 34-yard return, finishes this drive with a 30-yard touchdown. And the Colony puts more points on the board with plenty of the second and third stringers in for Colleyville. Some starters still out there as well.
Yeah, and that's the only way you can stop this defense. You got to go quick. You got to get the ball out of Mr. Gaines' hand right now. Even though there was pressure off the edge, he still was able to get it away for a touchdown. Looked like they're going for 2.
Trying to get it for 2. Again, they look for Xavier Green, and he's going to walk into the end zone. So 30-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion. Started with a 30-yard return, and the Colony with a nice drive here in the fourth quarter. 7:17 left in the fourth frame, 38-14 the score. This fourth quarter brought to you by J. Caldwell Pools. Alongside the TCU Football Hall of Famer Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly, the Colleyville Heritage Panthers. Very close to improving to 2-1 and 1-0 in district play with 7:17 left in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was a good drive right there. Let's give the Colony some credit there. They put together a hell of a drive, and Mr. Gaines made some great throws, and he was able to figure out a way to get the ball off with the massive pressure he's been getting all night. And when that happens, he's able to hit his targets and ends up in a touchdown, and then they end up going for 2 and making it. So that was the best drive all night, and let's just see what they can do on defense and see if they can't pitch a 3 and out and try to get back in this ball game somewhat. I mean, they still have 7 minutes left, but they're not quitting. And I like to see that when you're down by many, many points and you keep fighting. So that's a good thing.
Story of the night for you, is it the 4 interceptions for the Colleyville secondary?
That's the story of the night. These guys, we said at the beginning of the game, we wanted to see how they were going to come out and respond because they've given up so many points in the first 2 weeks. And I'm telling you, it's Pick City out there tonight. That's the defensive day. Pick City is what it's been tonight for the Panthers secondary.
2 for Hayden West, 2 for Bryson Burgess, and 38 on the board for the Colleyville Heritage Panthers, enjoying opening night in district play in a really positive way to bounce back here on the road. It's a short kick, and the Colony looks like they hop on it as it's Dominique Jeffrey who comes up with the football, and the Cougars will get it right back.
I wish I would have said it because in my mind I was wondering if they were going to try to do an onside kick. That's similar to just kicked it short and was able to get down on it because here's, again, you got 7 minutes left. They go down here and score. It's 21-38. Listen, we've seen things happen in high school football, on every level of football, when you have this much time left. Again, I've been saying about the Panthers, they got to put this away. It's like they leveled off and they hadn't really done much since the first quarter and a half. It's just been dull a little bit, so they've got to put this away.
Looks like there may be an offsides call on this, so do they have to re-kick here with 7:16 left in the fourth quarter after it appeared that the Colony collected an onside kick? Or do they just get back up?
Yeah, you have to re-kick it. Yeah, you have to re-kick it. That's the rules. And unfortunately, the guys, they're not going to be able to get the ball back. Oh, man, you got to be disciplined on these type of plays. You know what's going on. You got to make sure you line up on sides. I mean, they just cost their team the ball with good field position to go down and get a quick score. So
inopportune time to have that happen, but it kind of goes into it. You're going to be more antsy to get off when you're knowing you're going for an onside kick.
Yeah. Didn't work in their favor. Now let's see if they do it again.
You'd think they'd try it again.
Hey, the Panthers they're geared up to see it. They're ready for it. Look like they're going to do it.
What do they have to lose?
Nothing. So why not? I'm with them.
Field position?
Hey.
We'll see. Right here.
We used to kick this ball. We had to play where you kick it up in the air and let the guy get eyes, the lights. And if he don't fair catch it, you can drill him or get the football. So let's see what happens.
A short one here.
Oh.
And nearly able to get it, but it goes out of play. So the penalty marker is going to come up there. Luke Graves was in the vicinity, but the Panthers will get the football back. And we said it last drive when they had the football. They've scored twice here in the second half. And to your point about doing a ton, starting on a 21-0 run right out of the gate, appeared as though it could be something special in the 50s and 60s tonight for what Colleyville could put on the scoreboard. That effort, they've replicated a couple touchdowns, one from Braden Blewett, one that was set up by a Braden Blewett pass interference call in the second half. But we'll see. Again, we talked about it last drive. Can they just continue to pound the ground and see if they can't move this clock more?
That's all they need to do. Get this game out of the way. I mean, listen, defense have won this game. They're not worried about anything else because the Panthers' defense is going to win this game for them tonight. Like again, like we said, secondary having 4 picks, they can't stop them. And so, with that being said, Mr. Is it Mr. Weaver still out there?
He is.
Yeah. Hey, let's just hand the ball off and get this game out of the way.
All right, number 2, you're up.
So 6:50. Clock continuing to tick after a 4-yard gain on the ground from Abram. 2 receivers split to either side, 4 on the line. Blewett comes in motion. Pressure comes, and a quick hit out to Abram. Breaks a tackle and continues to move forward, and he's going to take more than one tackle to bring him down. And again, he lost his shoe the second time tonight.
He needs to put some tape on that shoe. We call it spat. Tape that thing to your foot so it don't come off. Good play by him staying in bounds and keeping the clock rolling.
6 and change. You talk a lot about getting out of bounds, clock management, but also staying in when you need to. Great point right there. Similar play, Blewett in motion. Again, another hit out. This time, Abram on that replay, and here they give it off to Braden Blewett, and he's going to be able to move the chains on the catch with the clock continuing to move.
Yeah, again, staying in bounds. They threw it. He could have ran out of bounds, but right now, getting out. Listen, they drain this clock. Stay in bounds, pick up some positive yards, and get down.
So here is the play. It was just a quick, easy catch for Braden Blewett, and he turned in and picked up the first and kept the clock moving as well. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. It's Dressel alongside Graves and Price on the near side, Blewett on the far side. And a handoff right up the middle as they give an opportunity for the running back in Colin Bennett.
Good strong play by Mr. Bennett. Again, keeping his leg. These running backs are just a good collective bunch of running backs. And those guys have some strong legs because I'm telling you, they've not been able to stop them all night. So just keep doing what you're doing. Run the ball, run the clock out. If you pick up the touchdown, great, but keep that clock moving so we can get out of here with no injuries.
You're up.
Really a big story tonight as well is that man, number 5 that you see on the screen. We'll get to that in a moment as Braden Blewett makes another catch on the perimeter. But with the running attack of Abraham and Wiley primarily, I know Bennett has got a couple carries and opportunities here late as a Cougar is down. Bennett just under 2 yards a carry so far this season. You get him going, you have the three-headed monster, but Abraham and Wiley have done the most damage this year, and particularly tonight. But Shannon, would love your thoughts on just what you've seen out of another dimension that has been added tonight to this Colleyville offense with Luke Graves making catches over the middle.
It just gave – listen, we didn't see it. You have to always give the defense, whatever they give you, you take it. You know, and all night long the middle's been wide open. And so they literally ran the same play 2 times in a row because they didn't cover it. I mean, come on. So you got to come down with the linebackers and take that out of the equation. And then you have a good running. The running game's been solid. The receivers are catching balls. And now you got the tight end, and then Mr. Weaver breaking pocket running, picking up first downs with his legs. I mean, it's just been a solid performance tonight by the offense.
So 4:30 left in this fourth quarter. Colleyville, 38-14. They have the lead after putting up over 20 points, all their points, 23 of them in the fourth quarter last week. They carried that into the first quarter this week, a 21-point first quarter. Really, the hot start is what is another big takeaway tonight. They rode what was a 21-0 start quickly, and they ride that all the way here to the fourth quarter as they will try to salt away the last 4 minutes on this clock.
Yeah, what a solid night by all phases of the game, especially for special teams. Defense, to me, they won the game, and then all offense had to do is control the clock and put some points on the board and not turn over the ball, and they did that tonight. So it's a solid performance by this Panther team all the way around.
Weaver in the gun. It's Bennett to his left. They'll give him an opportunity. Bennett keeps moving his legs and gets stopped at the 1. Pick up a 5. Let's run through some numbers here tonight, Shannon. Just another day at the office for Braden Blewett. 8 for 113 and a pair of scores. And Luke Graves, 5 catches, an average of about 17 yards a catch for 84 yards. And then Jared Wiley picked up 3 catches. Abraham had 1, and then Dax Hebeson had the 2-yard touchdown as well.
Yeah, again, solid performance by the offense. Everybody doing their job, doing their 111th, as we like to say. That means you don't try to do somebody else's job, just do your job. But Mr. Wiley had a good night tonight on the for 70 yards. I mean, he averaged 6.3 yards a pop, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Abrams running the ball for 39 yards. Listen, it doesn't sound like much, but the plays they made tonight are big plays by the running back. They complement each other. And Mr. Weaver, same thing. They all 3 had a great night tonight. And if you keep getting that out of all 3 of those guys, they're just going to be hard to beat.
3 touchdown passes for Bodie Weaver this evening. 2 to Braden Blewett. And there's a pass to Colin Bennett after they got backed up and made it a 3rd down. So a 15-yard penalty is what backed them up, and then they get it back to Bennett after he was right up at the 1-yard line. But now it looks like on this
looks like they're going to go for they're going to kick a field goal on this one. Why not? I mean, hey, let's get everybody some stats here.
And it will not be Zuckert again. Landon Dressel for the kick. A 26-yard try here for Landon Dressel. Trying to add points on the board with just a few minutes to go in this ball game, and a timeout going to be taken.
Yeah, I don't know you call field goal and you let the clock, kick it. What's the holdup?
So 2:03 to go. And yes, that is interesting.
Oh, they had 12 men on the field. I'm counting. That's why they called it 12 men on the field there right now.
Would have been the 3rd time tonight that would have been called. Good catch.
Yeah. I'm wondering why. Like, what? You send the team out there, kick it. But they had too many.
Ice yourself, no?
Yeah, too many on the field. You can't do that. It's against the rules.
So 4th down, they're going to try a 26-yarder, it appears, once they get the right number on the field for Bodie Weaver tonight. Sharper, 18 of 27, 3 touchdowns, did have 1 pick, but threw for 221 yards. And again, Wiley with 70 on the ground. He led the rushing attack. Braden Blewett and Luke Graves, they were the most outstanding in the receiving game. See Graves out there to hold. Dressel to kick. And this kick brought to you by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency. And Colleyville add points on. That kick is up and through. And they will tack on 3 more in what has been a quality night on the opening night of district action here from Tommy Briggs Stadium in the Colony. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth. Because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
Panther Friday night on Tradio. This kickoff is presented to you by Texas Live, and it is off a short one. It is down, and is it picked up by Colleyville? It is. Landon Dressel went short, and the Panthers say, hey, we don't want to lose control of the football because Chase Gibson scoops up the pigskin.
Listen, I'm not going to say he meant to do that, but I think he meant to do that. I mean, that looked like he meant to do it. So the way that receiver is covering right there, that's interesting. You would do that when you're up 41-14. With 2 minutes left in the ball game.
Yes.
You talk about a coach that may not shake your hand after the ball game.
That's an interesting look, right? I know exactly what you're saying, where you're going with it, and it will be interesting to see how they operate now with the 2 minutes to see, what was the intention, perhaps. But Chase Gibson's able to pick up what was a Landon Dressel short kick. And you're going to see now some of the second-string guys. Dimitri Hudson, the backup quarterback, is now in there as Bodie Weaver's day is in the books. And you get a first glance at the junior quarterback, Dimitri Hudson.
Well, that's good to see they have the backups in, because if not, I'm telling you, these coaches probably would have a few words after this game.
Colin Bennett with a solid carry. Bennett, a junior running back, one of the lead returning rushers on this year's squad. But plenty of new faces into the ball game now for the Panthers, but with just 90 seconds left in this 4th quarter, it's Colleyville who will move to 2-1, and again, more importantly, 1-0 in district play. Offensively, Bodie Weaver throws for 3 scores. Luke Graves in his first game back in the mix, 84 yards on 5 catches as it's another run. Just a couple plays until we will wrap up week number 3 of Panther Friday night in the books and look ahead to next week's matchup coming up as they return back home to Mustang Panther Stadium.
Yeah, just milk this thing and let's get out of here, man, because, you got your backups in there. You've done the onside kick thing, and I'm definitely going to have my eyes on these head coaches as they line up on the 50 and walk across. But again, maybe it's for just to get, he did that just to get his backups in there and get them a couple snaps.
So a knee is taken for Hudson. Colleyville will win it 41-14, the final score. A pair of scores for Braden Blewett. 4 interceptions, 2 each for Hayden West and Bryson Burgess. And the Panthers move to 1-0 in district play. They'll return home next week to take on Mansfield Timberview for their district home opener coming up next week. We look forward to hearing from you then as the two teams will shake hands and we will wrap things up here from Tommy Briggs Stadium in the Colony. Get your coaches, Jerry Edwards moving his squad to 2-1. You see sign of respect from both sides. The Colony, a team that moved down from D1 last year, now to D2 this year, and they just missed out on the playoffs on a tiebreaker, a 2-0 start. They moved to 2-1, and it is Colleyville who improves to 2-1. Argyle, we've got a final there. They win 24-14 against Mansfield Timberview, so you're going to face a Mansfield Timberview team next week that loses their district opener. After winning their opener, they fall to Denton Ryan in week 2 when they don't score a point, and this week they fall to Argyle, which that's going to be a battle in a couple weeks for Colleyville Heritage and one of the more coveted matchups in all of 5A. We'll have that at Argyle in a couple weeks. But next week, it's Mansfield Timberview that pays a visit to Mustang Panther Stadium. For Mr. Trey Bell and our entire crew and Mr. Shannon Brazil, I'm Will Connerly saying so long from the Colony. Shout out to all our great sponsors, and thanks for tuning in to Panther Friday Night here on Tradio.